Pokémon, the ultimate trainer. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 301 Double Ice. After being attacked by the water cannon skill, Butterfree was seriously injured all over. As for Frog, it was in great pain because of the mental attack, and its condition became much worse. Frog used the Eye of Heart before continuing to use Hypnosis. Zhang Cheng planned to use the Eye of Heart to ensure the success rate of Hypnosis and put Butterfree into a sleeping state. Yobo Frog adjusted its state and activated the Eye of Heart. After using the Eye of Heart, Frog felt that the opponent's speed had become very slow, and it could easily hit the opponent with its own attack. The Eye of Heart was successfully activated, and Frog continued to condense psychic energy to prepare to release hypnotic sound waves. Butterfree, mysterious protection. Yiyan saw through Zhang Cheng's thoughts and knew that this Eye of Heart must be prepared for Hypnosis, because Frog's speed was very fast in rainy weather, and it was difficult to dodge the attack with its water attribute skills, so there was no need to use the Eye of Heart. Yiyan, this kid, his command ability is so good now. Zhang Cheng sighed as he watched Yiyan's series of operations. Yiyan's advanced judgment not only resolved the hypnosis blessed by the Eye of the Heart, but also took the opportunity to use Butterfly Dance to amplify his own multiple attributes, turning the disadvantages in the previous confrontation back at once. Fast Swim Frog used the Waterfall attack. After knowing that Hypnosis had no effect, Zhang Cheng seized the time and let Fast Swim Frog use his best skills to attack. Yobo Fast Swim Frog rubbed his hands, gathered the water element energy on his body and then slammed into Butterfree. Butterfree used the Air Slash. After using Butterfree Dance to amplify Butterfree, Yiyan was very confident and directly let Butterfree and Fast Swim Frog face off head-on. The frog that rushed over with a waterfall climbing attack directly collided with a flying air blade. Surrounded by the powerful water element energy, the frog broke through the air blade and continued to crash into Butterfree with serious injuries. Butterfree, Bug Bite. After the frog broke through the Air Slash, Yiyan felt that something was wrong and immediately asked Butterfree to use Bug Bite. After receiving the order, Butterfree did not have much time and quickly opened its mouth to bite the frog that was attacking. While the frog's strong body hit Butterfree bit the frog's arm tightly in its mouth. The two forces burst out. After the frog resisted the Air Slash, it was hit by the Bug Bite skill. Its health was exhausted and it fell to the ground and lost its ability to fight. Butterfree was not much better. It had been severely injured when it was attacked by the water cannon, and now it was hit by the powerful waterfall climbing skill. The Butterfree, which was severely injured one after another, lost its balance and fell to the ground. You've done a good job. Come back, Frog. Butterfree, you've worked hard. The two of them had a tacit understanding. At the same time, they took out the Pokeballs to take back the Pokemon that had lost their ability to fight. After taking back their starting Pokemon, Zhang Cheng and Yiyan were both a little hesitant, not knowing which Pokemon to send out to continue the battle. Based on Zhang Cheng's understanding of the Pokemon in Yiyan's hands, the three-headed dragon should be the last to play as a trump card, and as for Lizard King and Herachaurus, they will be controlled by his Pidgeot. Zhang Cheng guessed that Yiyan should send out a Pokemon he didn't know, and this Pokemon should also be able to restrain Pidgeot. Go, Swampert, Double Ice, it's up to you. After consideration, Zhang Cheng chose to send Swampert to fight, because there are three attributes that restrain Pidgeot: Ice, Rock, and Electricity, and Swampert is not afraid of these three attributes. In addition, it is rainy now, and Swampert can also use the weather to gain an advantage. As Zhang Cheng expected, the Pokemon sent by Yiyan is an Ice attribute Pokemon that restrains Pidgeot. Double Duato Ice is a kind of Pokemon that is relatively rare in China. It was the first time that Zhang Cheng saw this Pokemon. He immediately turned on the detection system and began to understand the specific information of Double Duato Ice. Name: Double Duato Ice, level 58, gender, male, qualification, B+ attribute, ice carrying props, unmelting ice, ice that can isolate heat. The power of ice attribute skills used by Pokémons will be improved after carrying it. Basic skills: Ice Cone, Hardening, Fright, Noise, Frozen Wind, White Fog, Provocation, Avalanche, Mirror Light Shooting, Melting, Frozen Beam, Hail, Mirror Reflection, Blizzard learning skills: Light Wall, Big Explosion, Hold, Cannon, Light Cannon, Ice Breath. Inherited skills: Water Wave, Fine Snow, Iron Wall. Characteristics: Shattered Armor. Pokémons with this characteristic will have their defense reduced and their speed increased due to damage from physical attacks. Note: Double Dodo Ice, a Blizzard Pokémon, is the evolution of Dodo Ice. After drinking a lot of water, it creates snow clouds in its body. The blizzard makes the enemy suffer. Yeeon's Double Dodo Ice has a high level and qualifications, and has mastered a large number of ice attribute skills. After becoming a gym-level trainer, basically every trainer's main Pokémon is equipped with powerful props and has mastered a large number of learning skills. The ability of the Pokémon has been brought to the extreme. Double Dodo Ice, use Blizzard. Swampert, use Muddy Current. Zhang Cheng and Yeeon immediately commanded their respective Pokémon to use powerful offensive skills. Gana Swampert took advantage of the rainy weather and condensed a muddy water flow in a very short time. After the Muddy Current was formed, it quickly shot towards Double Dodo Ice in midair. Cold Ice attribute energy burst out from Double Dodo Ice's body. Under the influence of this ice attribute energy, the temperature around it began to drop. Chapter 302, Sea Dragon Goes to Battle. As the temperature dropped, Double Ice condensed into a large amount of blizzards, which gathered together and drifted towards Swampert. A large amount of wind and snow collided with a turbidity current. The turbidity current launched by Swampert was more powerful than the blizzard launched by Double Ice because of the rainy weather. After a period of stalemate, the turbidity current dispersed a blizzard and then hit Double Ice's body. After being hit by the turbidity current, Double Ice lost its balance and fell to the ground. Swampert, use Poison. Zhang Cheng seized the opportunity and planned to use Swampert to activate the Poison skill while Double Ice was injured. Gana Swampert condensed a ball of highly toxic venom very skillfully, and after the venom was formed, it shot at Double Ice on the ground at the fastest speed. Double Ice, use the Hold skill. Seeing this, Yeeon quickly asked Double Ice to use the Hold skill to defend. He knew how terrifying Swampert's Poison skill was. Double Ice heard the trainer's command, endured the pain in his body, and gathered strength to form a transparent barrier in front of him. The barrier was formed very timely. The poisonous venom had already arrived in front of Double Ice. It was about to hit, but was blocked by the sudden appearance of the barrier. A large amount of venom fell on the barrier. The venom came into contact with the barrier, making a crackling sound. In the end, the venom was exhausted and could not break through the defense of the barrier. The poison needs time to ferment to become more powerful. The power is relatively weak at the beginning, so there is no way to break through the defense of the barrier. Double Ice, use the Freezing Beam. After dissolving Swampert's poison, Yeeon breathed a sigh of relief and began to command Double Ice to launch an offensive. Double Ice floated into the air again, condensing the ice energy around it to form a blue-white beam, which was filled with ice energy. Swampert, Waterfall Attack. As the battle continued, the rainy weather launched by the fast-swimming frog was about to disappear. Zhang Cheng planned to let Swampert launch a powerful waterfall attack before the rainy weather disappeared, and consume as much of Double Ice as possible. Gana Swampert was full of rich water element energy, and his whole body burst out with amazing power and rushed towards Double Ice. When Swampert was about to get close to Double Ice, a freezing beam came and hit Swampert's body. Swampert was surrounded by powerful energy, and the freezing beam did not have much effect on it, but it triggered the freezing effect. A large amount of ice energy attached to Swampert's limbs, and then quickly spread throughout the body, and soon froze Swampert into an ice sculpture. Originally, with the blessing of rainy weather, the power of Swampert's waterfall climbing attack far exceeded the freezing beam, and it could completely break through the freezing beam and cause heavy damage to Double Ice. However, it was unexpected that this freezing beam triggered the additional freezing effect. Double Ice, use the blizzard again. After controlling Swampert, Yeeon once again let Double Ice use the strongest ice skill he could master to attack. Double Ice floated in the air, absorbing the ice attribute energy around it and turned into a blizzard. After the blizzard appeared, it quickly gathered above Swampert's head, and a large number of snowflakes continued to fall on the ice that froze Swampert. The ice energy used the ice as a medium to transmit powerful force and hit Swampert's body. Countless snowflakes continued to fall, smashing Swampert's body all over. In the end, Swampert still couldn't withstand this endless offensive and lost his ability to fight. This trainer from Kyoto University is too powerful. Is our school completely no match for him? It's just the beginning. Don't be anxious. the situation of the game changes rapidly. You can't just look at the present. As Zhang Cheng's second Pokémon was defeated, the trainers of Magic City University discussed it one after another, feeling that the situation was not very friendly to them. "Come back, Swampert." Zhang Cheng didn't say much, silently took back Swampert, and then sent out the third Pokémon to fight. "It's your turn, Sea Dragon." The third Pokémon Zhang Cheng chose to fight was Sea Dragon. The main reason Zhang Cheng chose to send Sea Dragon was to let Dragonite and Pidgeot choose the right time to fight according to the subsequent situation. Double Dodo Ice was seriously injured in the collision with Swampert. Zhang Cheng believed that he could defeat Double Dodo Ice with the strength of Sea Dragon, and then force out Yeon's third Pokémon. After such a long period of training and fighting, Sea Dragon is not weak now, and has mastered many skills. Name: Sea Dragon, level 57, gender, male, qualification, attribute, water carrying props, mystical water drop. After the elf carries this prop, the power of the water attribute skills will be improved. Basic skills: bubble, smoke screen, stare, water gun, tornado, bubble beam, gathering, salt water, high speed movement, dragon wave, dragon dance. Learning skills: surf, freeze beam, hold, pray for rain, hot water. Inherited skills: reverse scale, aurora beam, dragon breath, turbid flow. Characteristics: poisonous sting. The elves with this characteristic will sometimes make the elves that touch them become poisoned. Note: Sea Dragon, a dragon Pokémon, is the evolution of Ink Seahorse. It has a ferocious personality. If you accidentally touch it, you will be stabbed by its thorns all over its body and faint. Double Duo Bing, use the cannon beam. Yeon continued to take the initiative. After the Sea Dragon appeared, he immediately commanded Double Duo Bing to use the cannon beam. Ice attribute skills are not very effective against Sea Thorn Dragon, so Yeon chose to use the Steel attribute cannon to attack first. After receiving Yeon's order, Double Duo Ice gathered the Steel attribute energy together to form a cannon to attack Sea Thorn Dragon. Sea Thorn Dragon, use hot water. Facing the attack of Double Duo Ice, Zhang Cheng chose to fight hard. Sea Thorn Dragon is in a better state now and has a certain advantage in attributes. Haha. The temperature of Double Duo Bing's body surface was very low. After being hit by the hot water, he immediately let out a painful scream. Chapter 303, Another Battle with the Lizard King. After being hit by the hot water skill, Double Duo Bing's condition became very bad. Sea Thorn Dragon, use reverse scale. Zhang Cheng took advantage of the victory and directly let the Sea Thorn Dragon use the inherited powerful dragon attribute skill, reverse scale, to attack. Double Duo Bing suffered heavy losses one after another, and its current condition is already very bad. As long as the reverse scale skill hits, it is likely to defeat Double Duo Bing. Haha. As the barrier was formed, violent dragon attribute energy bombarded it. The power of this dragon attribute energy was very strong. The barrier formed by Double Duo Ice lasted for 10 seconds before it broke apart, and the remaining power hit Double Duo Ice's body. After being hit by the reverse scale skill, Double Duo Ice's entire body flew backwards, and was beaten all over. It fell hard on the edge of the battlefield and lost its ability to fight. Come back, Double Duo Ice. After Double Duo Ice lost its ability to fight, Yeon took out the Pokeball and took it back. Now the situation seems to have turned around again. I feel hopeful, so it seems that the guy from Kyoto University is not as powerful as imagined. After seeing Yeon's Pokemon being defeated, the onlookers regained their confidence and felt that they saw hope. The Sea Dragon you trained is very strong, but I am not at a disadvantage now, Yeon said as he threw the Pokeball in his hand. Get ready for battle, Lizard King. A red light shot out from the Pokeball in Yeon's hand, and a tall and mighty green lizard appeared on the battlefield. Compared to 2 years ago, Yeon's Lizard King has become taller and looks extremely powerful. Zhang Cheng knew that Yeon's Lizard King was very powerful, so he naturally did not dare to be careless. He immediately turned on the detection function and began to check the specific data of the Lizard King. Name: Lizard King, level 59, gender, male, qualification, A attribute, grass carrying props, miracle seed. After the elf carries this prop, the power of the grass attribute skills will be improved. Basic skills: slap, stare, absorb, lightning flash, super absorb, chase, leaf blade, high speed movement, slam, double drop, see-through, cross shears, stop at the point, quick defense. Learning skills: hold, energy ball, Sunbeam, Rock Slide, Dragon Claw, Swallow Return, Sunny Day inherited skills, Dragon Breath, Magic Leaf, Leaf Storm, Grass Flute characteristics, Lush. When the health of an elf with this characteristic is below a certain level, Lush will be triggered, and the power of the grass attribute skills will be improved. Note, Lizard King, a jungle Pokémon, is the evolution of the forest lizard. It is said that the seeds on its back store a lot of nutrients that can make trees full of vitality. Carefully cultivate the Pokémon of trees in the forest. As Zhang Cheng expected, Yeon's Lizard King is comparable to an ace elf, with excellent qualifications and skills. When the Sea Thorn Dragon saw the Lizard King appearing on the battlefield, it suddenly became extremely irritable and continued to send the reverse scale skill. A large amount of dragon attribute power was sent out, aiming directly at the Lizard King. Lizard King, use defense. Yeon is more familiar with the reverse scale skill. He knows that this skill will attack continuously and is so powerful that it cannot be fought hard. He chooses to let the Lizard King defend. The power of the reverse scale skill is very powerful, but it also has certain side effects. After the energy of the reverse scale skill is released, the Sea Thorn Dragon will fall into a state of confusion. Yeon just wants to resolve the offensive of the reverse scale through defense, wait until the Sea Thorn Dragon enters a state of confusion, and then launch a counterattack. After receiving Yeon's command, the Lizard King nodded and quickly condensed energy to form a transparent barrier in front of him. Soon after the barrier was formed, a large amount of dragon attribute power hid it. The reverse scale used by the Sea Dragon was much less powerful than that used by the Dragon-type elves because it was not blessed by the power of the original system. In the end, the barrier condensed by the Lizard King also successfully resisted the attack of the Sea Dragon. Haha! Lizard King, use Solar Beam. Yeon seized the opportunity and commanded Lizard King to use the powerful grass attribute skill Solar Beam to attack. A large amount of green light burst out from Lizard King's body, and these lights gathered together to form an energy beam, which was constantly charging at this time. Sea Dragon, use Surf. Facing the powerful attack of Lizard King, Zhang Cheng knew that it would be difficult to resist by defending the barrier, and he planned to take the initiative to attack during the charging stage of Lizard King. The Solar Beam skill requires time to activate. At this time, Lizard King is constantly gathering energy around him. Zhang Cheng plans to take advantage of this time to take the initiative to attack. Haha! The Sea Thorn Dragon was not seriously injured by the attack of his own concentrated skill, but he also missed the opportunity to attack actively. The Lizard King had already gathered all his energy, and a dense beam of light burst out, and the Sunbeam skill was activated, aiming directly at the confused Sea Thorn Dragon King. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304, Pidgeot shows his power. The solar beam condensed by the Lizard King was quickly fired, accurately hitting the Sea Dragon in a state of confusion. After being hit by the solar beam, the Sea Dragon flew backwards, then rolled to the edge of the battlefield and was directly hit by the Lizard King. Grass attribute skills have a restraining effect on the water attribute Sea Dragon, and with the blessing of the Miracle Seed, the grass attribute skills used by the Lizard King are even more powerful. Looking at the Sea Dragon lying on the ground, Zhang Cheng prepared to take out the Pokeball to take it back. Haha! Zhang Cheng was touched by the Sea Dragon's unyielding spirit. He knew that he was no match for the Lizard King, but he still tried his best to inflict the most severe damage on the Lizard King. The Sea Dragon's counterattack came very suddenly. Yeon and the Lizard King had no time to react, and the extremely cold beam had already hit the Lizard King's body. Ice attribute skills are very effective on the Lizard King. This freezing beam caused considerable damage to the Lizard King without any power blessing. It's a pity that this freezing beam did not trigger the freezing effect, otherwise the Sea Dragon could have knocked out more of the Lizard King's status. Lizard King, use the energy ball. After being attacked, Yeon and the Lizard King reacted quickly and launched skills to counterattack at the first time. The Lizard King's eyes were cold. The sneak attack just now made it feel very uncomfortable. After receiving Yeon's order, a burst of grass attribute energy quickly burst out of its body. A large amount of grass attribute energy gathered on the top of the Lizard King's head and gradually turned into a green ball of light. After the light ball was formed, it was sent out with a powerful destructive force, accurately hitting the position of the sea dragon. The sea dragon, which had just exploded its full potential, was already exhausted at this time. It had no time to dodge and was hit by the energy ball head-on, completely losing its ability to fight. "You have done your best, come back, sea dragon." A red light shot out, and the sea dragon was taken back into the Pokeball in Zhang Cheng's hand. "Pidgeot, it's your turn next. To deal with Yeon's Lizard King, Pidgeot is currently the best choice, and Zhang Cheng also chose to send Pidgeot to fight." Beep beep. Pidgeot appeared in the air of the battle site, and after seeing the Lizard King, he made a series of calls. Pidgeot and the Lizard King often fought in the past, and they can be regarded as old rivals. After Zhang Cheng's training, Pidgeot's level has now reached 59, and his strength is very strong, giving people an invisible sense of oppression. Name: Pidgeot, level 59, gender, female. Qualification: B. Attributes: flying, general. Carrying items: sharp beak. After the Pokemon carries this item, the power of the flying skills will be improved. Basic skills: impact, sand throwing, wind, lightning flash, blowing, tornado, feather dance, high speed movement, wing attack, feather perch, tailwind. Parrot. Learning skills: flying, thief, hold on, swallow. Return, rapid turn back, storm. Inherited skills: see-through, steel wings, brave bird. Attack, air blade. Characteristics: sharp eyes. The Pokemon with this characteristic will not have its hit rate reduced by the opponent's Pokemon in any way, ignoring the target's dodge rate. Ability change. Notes: Pidgeot, a bird Pokemon. The evolution of Pidgeot can fly at a speed of Mach 2 and a height of 1,000 meters. Pidgeot, use storm attack. After sending Pidgeot, Zhang Cheng chose to let it use the flying system's great killing to quickly get rid of Yeon's Lizard King and strive to gain more advantages. Beep beep. Pidgeot flapped his wings, and the rich flying energy continued to spread, forming a strong storm in the battlefield. After the storm skill was formed, it began to sweep towards the Lizard King, and wind blades continued to blow out. Lizard King, don't be afraid, use the defensive skill to resist. Facing Pidgeot's powerful attack, Yeon chose to let the Lizard King temporarily avoid the edge, resist the opponent's attack, and then look for an opportunity to counterattack. The Lizard King nodded to Yeon, and then used his hands to transform the energy gathered into a defensive barrier and stood in front of him. The wind blades formed by the storm skill continued to cut the transparent barrier. Under the unremitting attack of the wind blades, the barrier was finally shattered, and countless wind blades penetrated the barrier and hit the body of the Lizard King. There will be tiny wounds in the places scraped by the wind blades. 1 or 2 such wounds are not terrible, but a large number of wounds appear at the same time. After being attacked by the storm, the Lizard King's condition became very bad, and he kept roaring in his mouth, making a sound of pain. Pidgeot, use Brave Bird attack now. Zhang Cheng looked at the painful Lizard King and quickly commanded Pidgeot to continue the offensive. In the current state of the Lizard King, it was difficult to resist Pidgeot's Brave Bird attack. Beep beep. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, Pidgeot flapped his wings and quickly took off. While moving, he continuously absorbed the energy of the flying system. A large amount of flying energy followed behind Pidgeot, forming a powerful force. Pidgeot used this power to burst out at speed again, launching Brave Bird attack against the Lizard King, and crashing into the Lizard King with a powerful force. Lizard King, use see-through. It was definitely too late to let the Lizard King continue to attack at this time. Yeon planned to try to let the Lizard King use see-through to try to resolve Pidgeot's powerful attack. After receiving the order, the Lizard King endured the severe pain and condensed a special power. Just when this power was about to take effect, Pidgeot's attack came. Brave Bird's fierce attack skill was activated, and Pidgeot's body carried a terrifying force and hit the body of the Lizard King. The Lizard King, who was already in a very bad state, was hit by Pidgeot's strongest attack, and his whole body flew backwards and fell outside the venue, losing his ability to fight. Pidgeot was slightly injured. This was the negative effect of using the Brave Bird's fierce attack skill. He would suffer certain damage due to releasing the skill. Thank you for your hard work, Lizard King. Yeon quickly took out the Pokeball and took back the Lizard King who had lost his ability to fight, to prevent the Lizard King from suffering too much pain. Grandflower, it's decided to be you. The fourth Pokemon sent by Yeon was the Grandflower. Zhang Cheng was not too surprised by the Pokemon sent by Yeon. Facing Pidgeot, Heracross, who was 4 times weaker in flying, would definitely not be able to go. With a 3-headed dragon as the finale, Yi-Yan would definitely send a new Pokémon that Zhang Cheng didn't know. Chapter 305 Flower Rock Monster. According to the battle habits, Zhang Cheng first used the detection system to understand the specific data of this Flower Rock Monster. Name, Flower Rock Monster, level 58, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, ghost, evil, carrying props, black glasses, eyes that look strange. The power of evil attribute skills will be improved after the elves carry them. Basic skills, strange light, curse, resentment, chase, shadow, sneak attack, surprise attack, hypnosis, dream eater, strange wind, surprise attack, parting gift, evil wave. Learning skills, guard, mental power, shadow ball, unreasonable, loud roaring. Inherited skills, fraud, nightmare, seal. Characteristics, penetration. Elves with this characteristic can use skills to penetrate the barriers and upgrades created by the opponent to attack. Notes, Flower Rock Monster, a sealed Pokémon, was sealed into the cracks of the keystone because it did something bad 500 years ago. The Flower Rock Monster cultivated by Yi-Yan uses evil attribute skills as the main means of attack, and is also good at using ghost and psychic skills. Grandflower used the Wave of Evil. After changing to New Spirit, Yi-Yan directly commanded the Grandflower to launch the strongest evil attribute skill to attack Pidgeot. A wave of evil power erupted from the strange head of the Grandflower, and this power turned into waves. After the waves were formed, they had great lethality and quickly attacked Pidgeot in midair. Pidgeot used the storm. There was basically no attribute restraint or influence between the Grandflower and Pidgeot had a slight advantage in level, so Zhang Cheng did not have too many concerns and directly let Pidgeot launch the attack. Beep beep. Pidgeot vibrated its wings skillfully, condensing a large amount of flying energy to form a storm in the battlefield. With a continuous injection of flying energy, the power of the storm naturally became stronger and stronger. After the storm skill reached the limit that Pidgeot could control, it blew towards the Grandflower on the ground. A large amount of flying energy collided with the evil attribute energy emitted by the Grandflower, and the two energies were deadlocked in midair. In the end, the skill launched by Pidgeot was more powerful, dispersing all the evil energy that attacked, and then controlling the remaining storm energy to attack the Flower Rock Monster. After the Flower Rock Monster was hit by the storm skill, because the attribute did not achieve much effect, although the Flower Rock Monster was attacked, it was not seriously injured. Flower Rock Monster, use hypnosis. In the case of not gaining an advantage in the head-on collision, Yi-Yan chose to let the Flower Rock Monster use the transformation skills that he was good at to see if he could create some advantages. After receiving the command, the Flower Rock Monster launched a series of hypnotic sound waves from its body. The sound waves formed very quickly and were launched even faster. Pidgeot, get out of the way. Yi-Yan's sudden attack did not give Pidgeot much time to react. Zhang Cheng chose to trust Pidgeot and chose to use speed to dodge at the critical moment. Beep, Pidgeot did not take the hypnotic sound wave seriously, and used the advantage of speed to easily resolve the opponent's offensive. Well done. Pidgeot uses Feather Rest, dodging the hypnotic sound waves fired by the Flower Rock Monster. Zhang Cheng commanded Pidgeot to use recovery skills to replenish his energy. Beep beep. Pidgeot spread his wings, and a special energy attached to his wings, then spread out, forming a gentle light to heal his injuries. Flower Rock Monster, don't let Pidgeot succeed. Use Shadow Ball. Yi-Yan's order had just been delivered, and the Flower Rock Monster had already gathered the ghost energy that it could control, and then formed 3 Shadow Balls. After the Shadow Balls were successfully condensed, they attacked Pidgeot, who was recovering from his injuries. At this time, Pidgeot was still using Feather Rest to recover from his previous injuries. After being hit by the Shadow Ball, his whole body flew backwards, and the Feather Rest skill was forcibly interrupted. However, the Feather Rest skill was not considered a failure. Pidgeot had recovered a lot before it was interrupted. The Flower Rock Monster's Shadow Ball barely beat Pidgeot to the state before using Feather Rest. Flower Rock Monster seized the opportunity and used the Wave of Evil. Yi-Yan continued to command the Flower Rock Monster to launch an attack. Through the collision just now, he had enough confidence in the Flower Rock Monster. The strange petals of the Flower Rock Monster spread out rich evil energy. With the help of this energy, the Flower Rock Monster easily formed waves of evil. Pidgeot used the Brave Bird Fierce attack again. Looking at the Flower Rock Monster who was going to fight head-on, Pidgeot felt that he was greatly despised. With a fierce look in his eyes, he concentrated the flying energy and rushed forward quickly. Seeing Pidgeot attacking, the Flower Rock Monster released all the evil energy in one breath, and waves of evil came and attacked Pidgeot. Seeing the evil waves coming, Pidgeot showed no fear in his eyes, and his whole body slammed into these evil energies. The evil waves collided with Pidgeot, and a large amount of flying energy appeared, crushing these evil energies. Pidgeot's body easily broke through the defense of the Flower Rock monster, and then came in front of the Flower Rock monster, pouring a lot of energy into his body to knock the Flower Rock monster away. Looking at the Flower Rock monster in a disadvantage, Yian felt a little regretful. He misjudged the strength between the Flower Rock monster and Pidgeot. Don't give the opponent any chance, continue to attack, and use wings to attack. After using Brave Bird's fierce attack to cause heavy damage to the Flower Rock monster, the distance between the two elves was very close. Zhang Cheng took advantage of this and commanded Pidgeot to use powerful melee skills. Pidgeot condensed energy in his wings, then swung his wings, bringing a flying energy to attack the Flower Rock monster. Flower Rock monster, hold on. Facing Pidgeot's endless offensive, he felt a little headache. It would definitely not work to confront the Flower Rock monster head-on now. He could only use the hold skill to ease Pidgeot's offensive. The Flower Rock monster used the energy around it to condense a transparent defense barrier outside its body. Pidgeot came to the front of the barrier, flapping its wings and continuously hitting the barrier, with a momentum that was determined to knock the opponent down. The harsh sound of the barrier and wings colliding continued to ring out, and it seemed that neither side was willing to give in. And they kept insisting on their own fighting style. As the sound of the wings flapping became smaller and smaller, Yian breathed a sigh of relief, seeing that this offensive was about to be resolved. In the end, the barrier still held on very well, and Pidgeot's wing attack failed to break through this transparent barrier. Pidgeot, use Tornado. Chapter 306, Another Battle with Heracross. Pidgeot launched another attack, controlling the dragon attribute energy around it to form a tornado, which swept towards the float monster after it was formed. Float monster, use shadow attack. After using the defending skill, float monster had no other means of defense. Facing the attack of Pidgeot, it could only choose to bite the bullet and go for it. Yian chose to let float monster use shadow attack, which could penetrate the opponent's attack silently and attack Pidgeot directly. Yian knew that float monster had a high probability of not being able to beat Pidgeot. What he needed to do now was to cause serious injuries to Pidgeot as much as possible to ensure that Heracross, who would fight next, would have enough room to play. Float monster received the order from the trainer and quickly collected the evil attribute energy to form a strange shadow. After the shadow appeared, it avoided the tornado and appeared strangely behind Pidgeot. The shadow carrying the strong evil attribute energy hit Pidgeot's body. Pidgeot was suddenly attacked on the back and lost his balance and fell to the ground. On the other side, the tornado launched by Pidgeot also broke through the defense of the Flower Rock monster. A large amount of dragon attribute energy hit the Flower Rock monster to the last bit of life. Good job, Flower Rock monster, use Shadow Sneak attack again. Yian's eyes lit up and found that the Flower Rock monster had not lost its combat ability. He quickly commanded the Flower Rock monster to use Shadow Sneak attack that could directly attack Pidgeot. After receiving Yian's instructions, the Flower Rock monster tried its best to gather its last strength to launch Shadow Sneak attack. Seeing that the Flower Rock monster had not lost its combat ability and used Shadow Sneak attack again, Zhang Cheng first planned to let Pidgeot use Guard to defend. However, the speed of this move of the Flower Rock monster was too fast, and it was too late to gather the guard barrier at this time. Pidgeot, use Lightning Flash. Zhang Cheng thought of a good countermeasure in a very short time. He planned to use the high speed of Pidgeot's Lightning Flash to deal with the attack of the Flower Rock monster this time. Pidgeot burst out with a powerful thrust, and his whole body rushed towards the Flower Rock monster at a very fast speed. Just as the shadow condensed by the Flower Rock monster was about to launch an attack, Pidgeot had already pulled a long distance away with a Lightning Flash, and the shadow attack skill was perfectly resolved by Pidgeot. The Lightning Flash skill launched by Pidgeot is a general skill, which cannot cause damage to the Flower Rock monster with ghost attributes. However, this will not have much impact. Pidgeot has already come to the side of the Flower Rock monster with the acceleration of Lightning Flash. At this time, the Flower Rock monster is already so weak that it can't be weaker. It has been severely injured, and just now it burst out all its strength to launch a shadow attack. Now the Flower Rock monster has no ability to resist. It is already a fish on the chopping board, allowing Pidgeot to slaughter it. Pidgeot, use the Swallow Return attack. Zhang Cheng commanded Pidgeot to use his best flying skills, intending to directly defeat the Flower Rock monster and force out Yeon's next Pokémon. Beep beep. After receiving the order, Pidgeot condensed the flying energy on his legs, then flipped backwards, and kicked the Flower Rock monster away with powerful force. After being attacked this time, the Flower Rock monster fell down without any surprise and lost its ability to fight. Come back, Flower Rock monster. Yeon took back the Flower Rock monster with a little regret. The last Shadow Sneak attack just now did not hit, which seemed a bit unfavorable for the current situation. According to Yeon's original plan, if the Flower Rock monster's last sneak attack was successful, Pidgeot's condition would drop to a very bad level, and then Heracross's pressure would be much less. Go, Heracross. The fifth elf that Yeon chose to send was still Heracross. Yeon was confident in his Heracross. A red light shot onto the battlefield, and a black beetle gently flapped its wings, and its two black eyes stared at the Pidgeot in the air. Heracross was still very impressed with Zhang Cheng's Pidgeot. When Heracross was just conquered, Yeon and Zhang Cheng had a spirit competition, and Heracross was taught a lot by Pidgeot. Looking at Heracross appearing in the battlefield, Zhang Cheng was not surprised at all. He directly turned on the detection function and began to check the various data of Heracross. Name, Heracross, level 59, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, bug, fighting, carrying props, black belt. After the elf carries this prop, the power of fighting skills will be improved. Basic skills, horn collision, hold on, stare, push, seed machine gun, feint, swallow return, gradual breakdown, double return, random attack, tile splitting, missile needle, ramming, super horn attack, close combat, resurrection. Learning skills, hold, sword dance, rock collapse, tile splitting, swallow return, true key bomb, stomp. Inherited skills, super horn attack, earth throw, endurance. Characteristics, bug premonition. When the health of the elf with this characteristic is below a certain level, the power of the bug attribute skills will be improved. Note, Heracross, a one-horned Pokémon, has a gentle personality and great strength. He is good at letting his horn drill into the enemy's lower abdomen and then pick up the enemy. His favorite food is the sweet branches flowing out of trees. Heracross is very powerful and is still the main elf in Yeon's hands. Heracross, who has a set of fighting skills and high physical attack, will be very troublesome to deal with without Pidgeot. Heracross, use sword dance. Yeon knew that the insect and fighting skills that Heracross is good at had little effect on Pidgeot, so he planned to use sword dance to increase physical attack to make up for the power of the skills. Heracross quickly absorbed the energy around him. These energies had special effects. After being absorbed by Heracross, the attack power was greatly enhanced. Pidgeot, use storm. Zhang Cheng naturally couldn't let Heracross increase his strength. While Heracross used sword dance, Zhang Cheng commanded Pidgeot to use the flying skills that Heracross feared to attack. The power of Brave Bird's fierce attack is a little stronger than Storm, but using Brave Bird's fierce attack will have certain side effects. Pidgeot's condition is not very good after the previous battle. After comprehensive consideration, Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot use Storm attack, which can also cause high damage to Heracross. Beep beep. Pidgeot's eyes were cold, and he was extremely angry that Heracross ignored it and directly used sword dance. He quickly condensed a large amount of flying energy to form a storm. Under Pidgeot's control, the storm quickly attacked Heracross. At this time, Heracross had just finished using sword dance and had no time to dodge, and was finally hit directly by the storm. The storm pulled Heracross into the air, and a large amount of flying energy hit Heracross's body. Chapter 307. Both failed. Hit by the flying skill with 4 times restrained, Heracross was seriously injured, and some wounds cut by wind blades appeared on his skin. Heracross, use close combat. After increasing the attack power through sword dance, Yeon commanded Heracross to use the most powerful skill he had mastered, close combat. After receiving the order, Heracross decisively gave up defense and controlled the fighting energy around him to crash into Pidgeot. Pidgeot, let's use Brave Bird attack. Facing the powerful offensive of Heracross, Zhang Ben wanted Pidgeot to defend by holding the skill, but after thinking carefully, the close combat with a blessing of Black Belt and Sword Dance is very powerful, and the barrier is likely to be unable to withstand it. Instead of passively defending, it is better to take the initiative to attack and fight Heracross head-on, and use the advantage of attributes to directly take on the opponent's offensive. Beep beep. Pidgeot was filled with flying energy all over his body. Wrapped in this large amount of flying energy, Pidgeot flapped his wings fiercely and rushed towards Heracross with his whole body. The two elves of both sides launched close-range collision skills at the same time. The two elves collided in mid-air, and the two energies of different attributes continued to collide. The offensive power of both sides was not much different. Pidgeot had a slight advantage in attributes, but Heracross had a large number of amplification effects. In the end, the fighting energy condensed by Heracross was better. The energy condensed by Pidgeot was dispersed. After Heracross broke through Pidgeot's offensive, he continued to control his body and crashed into Pidgeot. Pidgeot was hit by Heracross's attack, and his condition was no longer as good as that of the opponent's Heracross. Pidgeot, counter-attack quickly, use your wings to attack. After the fierce attack of Brave Bird was broken, Zhang Cheng quickly commanded Pidgeot to counter-attack, controlling the powerful flying power to gather on the wings, and then slashing at the attacking Heracross. Heracross's entire body crashed into Pidgeot's arms, and Pidgeot also launched a wing attack at this time, hitting Heracross's back hard. Both elves were hurt, and then quickly distanced themselves, waiting for the next opportunity. Pidgeot, continue to attack, use the storm. Zhang Cheng had a great advantage at this time, so he started to attack recklessly. Yiyan now had only two elves that could fight, while Zhang Cheng had three, and the fault tolerance rate was greatly increased. Beep Beep Pidgeot skillfully condensed a storm, and after the storm appeared, it directly attacked Heracross, completely unreasonable. Heracross, let them see your strength, use Super Horn attack. Facing the aggressive Pidgeot, Yiyan also chose to let Heracross take the initiative to attack, using the insect-type ultimate move Super Horn attack to attack. The most important reason for using Super Horn attack is that Heracross's characteristics have been triggered. Under Pidgeot's attack just now, Heracross's bug premonition was triggered, and the power of the bug attribute skills was greatly increased. Heracross gathered all the bug attribute power on the sharp horns on his head, and then controlled the sharp horns to stab Pidgeot. On the way to attack Pidgeot, Heracross was hit by a storm, and a large amount of flying energy hit Heracross's body. Facing this terrifying storm, Heracross's eyes were firm, allowing the flying energy to attack, and continued to rush towards Pidgeot fearlessly. Super Horn attack was launched. With the power blessing of the original system and the increase of bug premonition, plus the additional attack power provided by Sword Gants, although Heracross's Super Horn attack was at a disadvantage in attributes, its power was not weak at all. After Pidgeot was hit by the Super Horn attack, a large wound appeared on his back, and his health dropped rapidly. Heracross's condition was not much better. He had to endure the storm's attack, but now he was already a candle in the wind. Pidgeot, use the last wing attack to defeat Heracross. Zhang Cheng saw that Heracross had been severely injured, and quickly commanded Pidgeot to launch an offensive, not giving Heracross the possibility of counterattack. Beep Beep the wound on his back made Pidgeot particularly painful, but also stimulated its potential. After receiving the trainer's instructions, Pidgeot's wings were filled with flying energy. With the help of these flying energies, Pidgeot's speed was improved, and in a flash he came in front of Heracross, and attacked with a pair of wings full of energy. Heracross, come back to life. After being forced into a desperate situation, Yiyan knew that it was time for Heracross to use this last killer move. The power of the resurrection skill is based on the injury state of the Pokémon when it is used. If a Pokémon that is seriously injured uses this move, the power will be very terrifying. The purpose of this skill is to turn defeat into victory in desperate situations. Heracross's eyes were firm, constantly stimulating the potential in his body, gathering all the fighting energy around him. This fighting energy was very strange. After it appeared, it drilled into Heracross's body. After this energy entered his body, it felt the elf's injury, and the concentration of the energy almost skyrocketed. Just when Pidgeot's wings hit Heracross, the energy formed by Heracross exploded and poured all over Pidgeot's body. The place where the energy collided produced a powerful shock wave, and both elves were blown away. I saw that the two elves fell to the edge of the battlefield, their bodies were black, and they were all severely injured and had lost their ability to fight. You've worked hard, come back and rest, Pidgeot, you did a good job, Heracross. The two of them took back the elves that had lost their ability to fight together. Now Yiyan only has the last elf that can fight. Zhang Cheng still has two elves that have not been sent to fight, and now he has a great advantage. It looks like we are going to win. That guy from Kyoto University is nothing special, don't be so confident. The opponent still has a Pokémon that hasn't been sent out yet. I don't believe this guy can fight two at once. Could it be that his last Pokémon is a quasi-god? After Heracles was defeated, the morale of the trainers from Magic City University suddenly rose. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Zhang Cheng now had a huge advantage. I haven't seen you for several years. I didn't expect you to be so strong, but I don't think you can defeat my three-headed dragon, Yiyan said as he took out the Pokeball of the three-headed dragon. This duel entered the most critical stage. Chapter 383 Evil Dragons. Three-headed dragon, prepare for battle. It's you, Dragonite. Both of them sent out Pokemon to fight at the same time. Yiyan sent out the three-headed dragon without any suspense, while Zhang Cheng sent out Dragonite to fight, leaving Diancie as the last card. The three-headed dragon was very large, and the shadow it formed in the air covered a large area of the ground in the competition venue. Seeing the three-headed dragon appear, the onlookers were immediately excited. This guy actually has a quasi-god Pokemon, and a dragon-type quasi-god at that. This is difficult. With the strength of the three-headed dragon, it can easily beat two at once. I just saw hope and now I am despairing again. I have a bold idea. Do you think Zhang Cheng also has a quasi-god Pokemon? That's impossible. You know how difficult it is to subdue a quasi-god Pokemon. Besides, even if it is a quasi-god, it can't compare to a dragon-type quasi-god. I think it's possible. Have you seen Zhang Cheng's sixth Pokemon? I haven't seen it anyway. What you said is right. None of us have seen Zhang Cheng's sixth Pokemon. Maybe it is a powerful quasi-god Pokemon? The trainers outside the field were chatting enthusiastically, and the game in the field was in progress. Seeing the three-headed dragon appearing, Zhang Cheng immediately opened the detection system and began to check the data of the three-headed dragon. Name, three-headed dragon, level 58, gender, male qualification, A+ attributes, dragon, evil carried items, dragon's fang. After the Pokemon carries this item, the power of the dragon attribute skills used will be enhanced. Basic skills, collision, dragon's rage, energy gathering, bite, headbutt, dragon's breath, roar, crush, smash, dragon's wave, self-motivation, dragon god dive, tation pressure, ghost face, learning skills, tooth for tooth, dragon tail, jet of flame, surfing, flying, rock blockade, steel wings, rapid return, hold on. Inherited skills, evil wave, lightning fang, fright, double-edged headbutt. Characteristics, floating. The elves with this characteristic will float from the ground and will not be attacked by ground attribute skills. Notes, three-headed dragon, a violent Pokemon, the evolution of the two-headed Tyrannosaurus. Once it finds a moving object, it will pounce on it and eat it cleanly with its three heads. It is a terrible Pokemon. Yiyan's three-headed dragon is of a high level, and it also masters many kinds of attribute skills, with a wide range of attack. The three-headed dragon has the advantage of being able to learn multi-attribute skills and has mastered a large number of high-powered skills that are not in its own system. It can also have a certain ability to deal with a situation where the attribute is restrained. Electric Dragon, use electromagnetic waves. After the battle began, Zhang Cheng immediately ordered the electric dragon to use electromagnetic waves to try to limit the speed of the three-headed evil dragon. Electric attribute skills are not very effective against the three-headed evil dragon, so Zhang Cheng can't rush to choose to attack. After the electric dragon received Zhang Cheng's instructions, a fine electric current burst out from its body, which can resist any attack. After the electromagnetic wave was formed, it was quickly shot at the three-headed evil dragon under the control of the electric dragon. If the three-headed evil dragon was hit by the electromagnetic wave, it would fall into a paralyzed state and its speed would be greatly reduced. Three-headed evil dragon, use defend. Facing the transformation skills used by the electric dragon, Yiyan still chose to avoid it. Falling into a paralyzed state is more uncomfortable than being directly attacked. The three-headed evil dragon flapped its wings, and the energy around it gathered to form a transparent barrier for defense. The electromagnetic wave hit the barrier formed by the three-headed evil dragon and could have any effect. The electric dragon's attack was easily resolved. Three-headed dragon, use dragon dive. After dissolving the incoming electromagnetic waves, Yiyan began to take the initiative to attack, commanding the three-headed dragon to use its best dragon attribute skills. The dragon-type skills used by the three-headed dragon will be very powerful with the dual blessing of Dragon Fang and the power of the original system. After receiving Yiyan's order, the three-headed dragon condensed the dragon attribute energy around its body and attached it to its body. At the same time, The three-headed dragon's huge body crashed into the electric dragon. Electric dragon, now is the time. Continue to use electromagnetic waves. Zhang Cheng had no intention of attacking at all. He was determined to paralyze the three-headed dragon. As long as he could restrict the three-headed dragon, its mission would be completed. The electric dragon knew what his trainer was thinking, and directly gave up defense and began to condense a large amount of electric attribute energy to form electromagnetic waves. But the speed of the electric dragon was much slower than that of the three-headed dragon. The electromagnetic wave skill had just condensed into shape when the three-headed dragon attacked. The huge body of the three-headed evil dragon hit the body of the electric dragon fiercely with powerful dragon attribute energy. After the electric dragon was attacked, the electromagnetic wave that had just condensed was dispersed, and the whole body flew backwards and fell on the edge of the battlefield. Electric dragon, continue to use electromagnetic waves. Zhang Cheng continued to let the electric dragon use electromagnetic waves and start the rogue style. After Zhang Cheng's order was issued, the electric dragon did not respond for a long time. The dragon was triggered by the dragon dive skill launched by the three-headed evil dragon just now, and fell into a state of shrinking, unable to move for a short time. Three-headed evil dragon, get rid of it in one breath, use the dragon tail. Yiyan also didn't want to entangle with the electric dragon anymore, so he quickly commanded the three-headed evil dragon to attack, and took advantage of the time when the electric dragon fell into a shrinking state to quickly defeat the electric dragon. The three-headed evil dragon had a fierce look in his eyes. After receiving the order, he controlled the dragon tail and whipped the electric dragon fiercely. The electric dragon, which was in a state of shrinking, had no ability to resist and was directly hit by the dragon's tail of the three-headed evil dragon, and its health value dropped rapidly. However, the electric dragon was not defeated directly. The power of the dragon-type skills was indeed strong. But it was not yet at the level of quickly killing electric dragons of the same level. Electric dragon, use the electromagnetic wave quickly. Zhang Cheng seized this opportunity. At this time, the three-headed evil dragon was very close to the electric dragon. As long as the electromagnetic wave was used at the fastest speed, the three-headed evil dragon would not have time to resist. The electric dragon knew that this was its last chance. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, the electric dragon exploded all the electrical energy in its body and formed electromagnetic waves at the fastest speed. After the electromagnetic wave was formed, it accurately hit the tail of the three-headed evil dragon, and then continuously penetrated into the whole body from the tail, and the three-headed evil dragon fell into a paralyzed state. Damn it! Three-headed evil dragon, use the dragon wave to get rid of it. After working for a long time, the three-headed evil dragon finally fell into a paralyzed state, which made Yiyan a little annoyed. He quickly ordered the three-headed evil dragon to eliminate this annoying electric dragon first. The three-headed evil dragon was as angry as Yiyan, and the eyes on the three heads were emitting red light, giving people an extremely brutal feeling. Chapter 309, Diancie goes to battle. The rich energy was absorbed by the three heads and transformed into waves of dragon waves. After the dragon waves were formed, the three evil dragons controlled these waves at the fastest speed to attack the electric dragon. The electric dragon, which had been attacked continuously, was hit again. The power of the dragon attribute skills was unquestionable. After being hit by the flying dragon waves, the electric dragon directly lost its combat ability. Well done, come back, electric dragon. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokeball and took back the electric dragon. Zhang Cheng was very satisfied with the performance of the electric dragon. It was difficult for the electric attribute skills to cause high damage to the three evil dragons. Putting the three evil dragons into an abnormal state was the best choice. Because Zhang Cheng knew through the detection system that the three evil dragons did not have skills that could remove the abnormal state. As long as the electromagnetic wave could hit, the speed of the three evil dragons would be greatly limited in this game. Is the dragon-type Quasi-God so strong? The Dragonite of the same level was defeated so quickly. Why do I not understand the game? What is he going to do? Just to paralyze the three-headed Dragonite, he will give away a Pokémon for free. Zhang Cheng must have his own intentions for doing this. It should be to pave the way for the last Pokémon. I think it's difficult. Dragonite didn't cause any damage to the three-headed Dragonite. Now the three-headed Dragonite is just paralyzed. Most trainers expressed their incomprehension of Zhang Cheng's series of operations just now. Of course, there are also a few smart people who can see his intention. Yiyan looked at Zhang Cheng, who was holding the Pokeball in his hand, and asked with some curiosity and expectation, "Now you only have the last Pokemon left. I am curious about what kind of Pokemon you will use to deal with my three-headed Dragonite. It will be revealed soon." Zhang Cheng threw the Pokeball in his hand. "Diancie, it's your turn." A red light shot out, and a small pink Pokemon appeared in the air above the competition venue. The Pokemon's lower body was made of exquisite rocks, and a large pink gem was inlaid on its head. As Diancie appeared, Yiyan's face became more and more solemn, until he was a little desperate at the end. He never expected that Zhang Cheng's last Pokemon would be a mythical beast, and a fairy-type mythical beast that restrains dragon and evil types. Am I seeing this right? This is actually the mythical beast Diancie. I've only seen this kind of Pokemon in books. How is this possible? Oh my god, I actually saw mythical beast. This is the first time I've seen a mythical beast in my life. Wow. Diancie is so beautiful. I love her so much. Diancie's appearance not only surprised Yiyan, but also shocked the trainers who were watching. Obviously, they didn't expect a mythical beast to appear. After being cultivated by Zhang Cheng, Diancie's level has reached 58, and she also has a large number of basic skills and learning skills, and her combat effectiveness has taken shape. Name, Diancie, level 58, gender, non-gender qualification, as attributes, fairy, rock-carrying props, rock incense with a magical aroma. The power of rock-related skills will be enhanced when the Pokemon carries it. Basic skills, impact, rockfall, hardening, angularization, shooting down, reflection wall, invisible rock, defense equalization, characteristic exchange, primal power, crazy, power gem, trick space, spike attack, moon power, diamond storm. Learning skills, destruction ray, mental power, rock slide, hold, rock blockade, ultimate impact, magic flash, meditation, mystical guardian. Inherited skills, non-characteristic, eternal pure body. Pokemon with this characteristic will not have their energy reduced by the opponent's moves or characteristics. Notes, Diancie, a gem Pokemon, a mutant of diamond, shines with pink light all over her body. It is considered the most beautiful in the world. Zhang Cheng has put a lot of effort into Diancie's training. As long as it is a learning skill that can be used, Zhang Chengdu will let Diancie master it through the skill learning machine. As for the props he carried, they were rock incense that could enhance the power of rock-type skills. Zhang Cheng originally wanted to enhance the power of Diancie's fairy-type skills, but unfortunately, there were no elf props that could enhance the power of fairy-type skills. Facing Zhang Cheng's trump card, Yiyan felt very powerless. It was already difficult for the three-headed dragon to deal with fairy-type elves. Now the opponent sent Diancie, not only a fairy-type elf, but also a mythical beast. You must know that fairy-type skills are 4 times more restrained than the three-headed dragon. The dragon plus evil attribute will lead to this being a huge weakness of the three-headed dragon. At the same time, the dragon-type skills that the three-headed dragon is good at are ineffective against Diancie, and the power of evil-type skills will be halved. Three-headed dragon, use steel wings. As an experienced trainer, Yiyan quickly made the best choice in such a headwind situation. Diancie's biggest weakness is that she is afraid of steel-type skills. The combination of rock and fairy attributes is destined to make Diancie this weakness. Under the current circumstances, the three-headed dragon's own skills are not very effective, so choosing to use the steel wings attack is the best and most helpless decision. The three-headed dragon waved its wings to condense the steel attribute energy around it. The rich energy attached to the wings of the three-headed dragon, forming hard steel wings. Diancie, let's use the power of the moon. Zhang Cheng naturally had no suspense and directly asked Diancie to use the high-powered fairy skills that she was good at and could restrain the three-headed dragon. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, Diancie nodded and easily condensed the rich fairy energy to form a sphere like the moon. After the sphere was formed, a large amount of moon power burst out from it and attacked the three-headed dragon not far away. Diancie's speed was originally not as fast as the three-headed dragon, but under the influence of the paralysis effect, the speed of the three-headed dragon was halved, and Diancie's speed just exceeded the three-headed dragon in this state. The power of the moon first hit the body of the three-headed dragon. Diancie had a high attack power. The power of the moon, which was 4 times restrained and had the power of the original system, caused great damage to the three-headed dragon. The three-headed dragon roared in pain and continued to use steel wings to attack Diancie while enduring the severe pain. Because Diancie was a mythical beast, her racial value was very high, with a double defense of 150. This steel wing, which was not blessed with the power of the original system skills, did not have the expected effect on Diancie. Diancie was only slightly injured, and the damage she suffered was too low compared to the three-headed dragon. Just one collision, the status of the two sides opened up a big gap. The three-headed dragon had no means to severely injure Diancie, while Diancie could cause great damage to the three-headed dragon with just a fairy-type skill. Chapter 310 Defeat the Three-Headed Dragon. Three-headed dragon, use the double-edged headbutt. In such a desperate situation, Yuan still had no idea of giving up, and commanded the three-headed dragon to use the most powerful inherited rock-type skill, the double-edged headbutt. After receiving the order, the three-headed dragon quickly condensed the rock-type energy. The rich rock-type energy gathered together and then turned into two huge blades attached to the top of its head. After the rock double blades were formed, the three-headed dragon shouted to the sky and vibrated its wings to attack Diancie. Come on, Diancie, use the Diamond Storm. Diancie's mastery of rock-type skills has reached the extreme. Facing the rock-type skills initiated by the three-headed dragon, Zhang Cheng chose to let Diancie also use rock-type skills to compete with a three-headed dragon. After hearing the order issued by Zhang Cheng, Diancie began to concentrate on condensing rock-type energy. A large amount of rock-type energy was emitted through the diamond on Diancie's head, forming a diamond storm. After the diamond storm was formed, it was quickly emitted and collided with a three-headed dragon attacking head-on. A large amount of diamond power hit the body of the three-headed dragon. The speed of the three-headed dragon's forward charge slowed down due to the obstruction of the diamond storm. Three-headed dragon, hold on. Yuan supported the three-headed dragon mentally. Encouraged by the trainer, the three-headed dragon looked fierce, endured the severe pain, and rushed forward regardless of everything. The double-edged headbutt hit Diancie's body fiercely. Attacked by the double-edged headbutt, Diancie flew backwards and hit the ground not far away, but did not suffer much damage. Because the double-edged headbutt used by the three-headed dragon did not have the power of the original system, coupled with Diancie's strong double defense, the three-headed dragon had no way to deal with it. Although the three-headed dragon successfully hit Diancie, it was also seriously injured. It suffered a certain amount of damage when it forcibly broke through the obstruction of the diamond storm. In addition, launching the double-edged headbutt would bring a large reaction force, causing itself to be injured. However, Yuan did not have many other choices. His own skills had no effect. He wanted to seek a breakthrough through the rock-type ultimate move of the three-headed dragon, the double-edged headbutt. But unfortunately, Diancie was the most proficient in rock-type skills. The power of the diamond storm she used was not inferior to the double-edged headbutt used by the three-headed dragon, and it was also amplified by the rock incense. In the collision of rock-type skills, the three-headed dragon could not gain any advantage. After using the diamond storm, some special energy appeared on Diancie's body and began to amplify Diancie's defense. This is a special effect attached to the diamond storm skill. After using the skill, there is a probability of greatly improving its own defense. Diancie's two sides were already very high, and now it has been amplified again. The three-headed dragon has no chance of winning. Diancie, use Magic Flash. After a collision, Zhang Cheng quickly commanded Diancie to launch an attack again, using the fairy-type skills that restrain the three-headed dragon. Diancie did not hesitate at all for Zhang Cheng's command. A burst of fairy energy quickly burst out from her body and formed a dazzling sunlight. After the light was formed, it quickly shot towards the three-headed dragon in the air. Three-headed dragon, use the flying skill. Yuan was quick-witted and commanded the three-headed dragon to use the flying skill, using the advantage of the flying skill to avoid Diancie's attack. The three-headed dragon flapped its wings fiercely, and flew high into the sky with the help of the flying energy, escaping the attack range of the Magic Flash. Diancie, wait until the three-headed dragon launches an attack before using the power of the moon. Facing the flying skill of the three-headed dragon, Zhang Cheng had no idea of defense. The flying skill was not effective against Diancie. With Diancie's powerful body, it could not cause any damage at all. As a divine beast, Diancie had a high IQ. Even without Zhang Cheng's command, she knew how to deal with the three-headed dragon. Diancie condensed a large amount of fairy energy to form a ball of light. After the ball of light condensed into shape, There was no further action. The time that the flying skill can support is over, and the huge body of the three-headed dragon carries the flying energy to attack. Seeing the three-headed dragon attacking, Diancie controlled the energy light ball to burst out the powerful moon power, and countless energy bombarded the body of the three-headed dragon. Hit by the moon power, the power condensed by the three-headed dragon was dispersed, and the huge body fell to the ground. In the following battle, Zhang Cheng continued to command Diancie to use the fairy skills, and the three-headed dragon could only be forced to use the defense skill to resist. In the gap period when the defense skill was just used, it could only force Diancie to fight head-on. The three-headed dragon was naturally no match for Diancie in a frontal attack. With extremely high double defense and 4 times restraint in attributes, the three-headed dragon finally couldn't withstand Diancie's offensive and was directly defeated. I have tried my best. Come back, three-headed dragon. Diancie, you are the best. After the game, Zhang Cheng and Yi Yuan praised and encouraged their respective elves, and then took out the elf ball to take it back. I didn't expect that after 2 years of not seeing you, your strength has reached this level, Yi Yuan said with a complicated expression. Yi Yuan originally thought that with the efforts of the past 2 years, he could defeat Zhang Cheng, but the reality gave him a big blow. Every time he played against Zhang Cheng, he was always one step behind and was completely controlled by the opponent. I was lucky to win this game. Without the help of Diancie, I would not be your opponent. Zhang Cheng did not feel complacent because of the victory of the game, but said modestly. Don't say that. No matter how strong Diancie is, she is your own Pokémon. My three-headed dragon is also a quasi-god. If we don't send out the last attack Pokémon, I will not be a match for 5 against 5. Yi Yuan quickly adjusted his mentality and said to Zhang Cheng with confidence, I believe that one day I can defeat you, and that day is definitely not far away. I will wait for you in the college league next year. After Yi Yuan finished speaking, he took the trainers of Kyoto University away from the competition venue. Seeing the trainers of Kyoto University leave in disgrace, the cheers from the Magic City University continued. I told you that Zhang Cheng could turn the tables, but you still didn't believe me. I was short-sighted. I didn't expect that there are always people who are better than you. This guy is so lucky. He actually got a divine beast. It's a divine beast. If I could get a quasi-god, I would be so happy. Brother, you are too narrow-minded. Are you satisfied with a quasi-god? If it were me, I would at least want a first-level god. Haha, you are dreaming. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 311 Quasi-King Challenge. Time passed quickly. Half a year had passed since the duel with Yi Yuan. During this half-year, Zhang Cheng's Pokémon levels had all exceeded level 60, and he was qualified to challenge the title of Quasi-King Trainer. So far, Diancie's level was the highest, reaching level 64, and the rest of the Pokémons were also at level 63 and 62. In fact, Zhang Cheng could have gone to the challenge battle 2 months ago, but at that time, there were many courses in school, and there was also a chance to obtain the Dragon Scale. Zhang Cheng was not in a hurry to challenge. If he challenged later, the difficulty would be lower, which was not a bad thing. In the early morning, accompanied by the sound of an alarm, Zhang Cheng got up to wash up, and then took the Pidgeot to the challenge tower. Zhang Cheng was very clear about the process of the challenge tower. After entering the challenge tower and registering the trainer information according to the process, Zhang Cheng came to a battle room under the guidance of the staff. On one side of the battlefield, an examiner was waiting for Zhang Cheng's arrival. Compared with the lower-level examiners, the Quasi-King level examiners were more arrogant. They did not say anything about Zhang Cheng's arrival. They went directly to the competition area and prepared for the battle. Zhang Cheng thought it was normal. People with strength are more or less arrogant. If the other party was too lazy to talk, he would not make trouble for himself. Under the instructions of the referee, Zhang Cheng also came to the corresponding competition area and prepared for the battle. After confirming that both sides had no problems, the referee blew the whistle and the game officially began. Go, Frog, Nidoking, prepare for battle. Both sides sent out their starting Pokémon at the same time. Zhang Cheng chose to send out a Vanguard General Frog, while the Quasi-King level examiner Hantian on the opposite side sent out Nidoking with dual attributes of ground and poison. The detection system was turned on, and Zhang Cheng began to check the specific situation of this Nidoking. Name, Nidoking, level 61, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, ground, poison-carrying items, soft sand, sand with a delicate feel. The power of ground skills used by the Pokémon will be enhanced after carrying it. Basic skills: glare, peck, gather, double kick, random attack, poison needle, horn charge, poison spike, flattery, poison attack, horn drill, super horn attack, make a big rage, strength of the earth learning skills, flame jet, ice beam, 100,000 volts, hold, highly toxic inherited skills, slam, double retaliation, poison tail, telekinesis characteristics, force. For Pokémon with this characteristic, the additional effects of the skills used will disappear, but they can use skills with higher power. Note, Nidoking, a drill-pushing Pokémon, is the evolved form of Nidorino. His skin is as hard as rock, and his long horns are his characteristics. Be careful that the horns are poisonous. The Nidoking sent by Hantian is a relatively powerful Pokémon. After reaching the Quasi-King level assessment, the Alliance also increased the difficulty of the challenge. In each previous challenge, the Pokémon sent by the examiner were not very strong in the same level, and the difficulty of the challenge was not high. But after reaching the Quasi-King level, Zhang Cheng found that the Pokémon sent by the examiner were all relatively strong in the same level, but not the top Pokémon. After thinking carefully, Zhang Cheng also knew the reason. Quasi-King level trainers can be considered strong trainers no matter where they are. For the elites among this type of trainers, they naturally have to be given higher attention, and the assessment conditions are naturally much higher. Nidoking, use 100,000 volts. Hantian launched an attack directly after sending out the Pokémon, commanding Nidoking to use the electric attribute skills that restrain the frog. Pokémon like Nidoking can master learning skills of multiple attributes, and it is a very good choice as the main Pokémon of the trainer. Nido after receiving Hantian's order, Nidoking quickly condensed the electric attribute energy, and the rich electric attribute energy gathered together to form a thick electric current. The 100,000 volt skill was activated, and a strong electric current quickly attacked the fast-swimming frog, trying to severely injure the fast-swimming frog. Fast-swimming frog used the waterfall attack. Facing Nidoking's attack, Zhang Cheng did not have any fear, because the 100,000 volt skill launched by Nidoking was not a skill of his own system, and its power was not enough to make people afraid. In addition, Nidoking, who has a ground attribute, was also very afraid of water attribute skills, and the fast-swimming frog was very good at water attribute skills. Yobo the fast-swimming frog was ready to fight, facing the electric current formed by 100,000 volts without any fear, controlling the water element energy around the body to surround the body, launching the waterfall attack to attack Nidoking. On the way forward, the fast-swimming frog encountered an electric current attack, and the strong current instantly wrapped up the fast-swimming frog. Yobo, the fast-swimming frog roared, forcibly broke through the current limit, and crashed into Nidoking with its strong body. Nidoking was hit by the waterfall skill, and his health value dropped rapidly, and his abdomen was seriously injured. The waterfall attack that Frog was best at hit Nidoking head-on, and the effect was very good. Frog was suppressing Nidoking in terms of level, and the skills it used also restrained Nidoking. Frog had a great advantage in this battle. Nidoking used poison attack. Hantian's eyes were cold, and he was a little unhappy about the failure of the first collision just now. He immediately ordered Nidoking to launch the next offensive. The energy of poison attribute gradually gathered in front of Nidoking. Under Nidoking's control, this energy turned into poisonous venom and attacked Frog not far away. Frog, use guard. Zhang Cheng knew clearly the power of the poison skill. As long as the opponent's poison skill was used, he would use guard to resist it immediately. Yobo Frog had rich experience in combat, and instinctively used guard in the face of the poison skill. The rich energy was controlled by Frog and turned into a transparent barrier, which tightly wrapped Frog in it and resisted the attack from the outside world. The poisonous venom fell on the transparent barrier, and the barrier made a harsh corrosion sound after it came into contact with the venom. In the end, the poisonous venom was completely dissolved by the barrier and had no effect on the Frog. Frog, use rain. After a brief fight, Zhang Cheng chose to turn on the rainy weather and defeat Nidoking at the fastest speed with a blessing of the weather. Yobo Yobo Frog skillfully transformed the water element energy into a large number of dark clouds. After the dark clouds formed, they quickly rose into the air and sprinkled a large number of raindrops on the competition venue. When the rainy weather formed, Frog's leisurely swimming characteristics were triggered, and its speed was greatly improved. Are you thinking I don't exist? Nidoking uses Super Horn attack. Han Dian was very angry that Zhang Cheng used rain in front of him. Chapter 312, Greedy Ghost Eating Flower. Nidoking felt provoked. Frog had used the rain prior skill right in front of it, without any intention of defending. After receiving Han Dian's instructions, a strong energy burst out of Nidoking's body, and the energy quickly gathered on the spikes on his head. Nidoking is very good at using the sharp horns on his head to attack. After the sharp horns gather enough energy, Nidoking straightens his neck and launches a super horn attack to Frog. Frog, dodge. After the easy swimming feature is triggered, Frog's speed is very fast. Nidoking's super horn attack is very heavy and it is impossible to hit Frog. Yobo Yobo Frog nodded and easily dodged Nidoking's attack with a flash. Nidoking missed and lost his balance and fell to the ground. Frog used the water cannon. While Nidoking fell, Zhang Cheng quickly commanded Frog to launch an attack, using high-powered water skills in rainy weather. Yobo, Frog easily absorbed a large amount of water element energy, which gathered in the air and turned into a thick water cannon to attack Nidoking on the ground. Nidoking used the hold. Seeing Frog's water cannon, Han Dian was a little anxious and quickly ordered Nidoking to use the hold skill to resist. Nidoking's speed was not as fast as Frog, and he had just fallen to the ground and lost his ability to move for a short time. It was too late to use the hold now. The energy to condense the barrier had just gathered, and the barrier had not yet condensed. The powerful water cannon had already attacked and hit Nidoking's body hard. Nidoking screamed in pain after being hit by a high-powered water skill that restrained it. This attack caused great trauma to it. Nidoking used the poison spike. As a quasi-king level trainer, Han Dian had a strong ability to respond on the spot. After knowing that the attack was ineffective, he quickly started the field tactics. As long as Nidoking scatters poison spikes twice on the battlefield, Zhang Cheng's subsequent Pokémon will fall into a highly poisonous state when they touch the ground. After receiving Han Dian's order, Nidoking quickly condensed poison energy to form poison spikes, which formed in mid-air and then quickly scattered to the ground. Quick Swim Frog stopped Nidoking, and used the waterfall attack. Zhang Cheng naturally couldn't let Nidoking use the poison spikes. After learning Nidoking's purpose, he immediately commanded Quick Swim Frog to attack. Yobo Yobo Quick Swim Frog burst out powerful water attribute energy. These water element energies and the energy formed in rainy weather merged with each other and then attached to Quick Swim Frog's body. The powerful energy crashed into Nidoking along with Quick Swim Frog's body. Nidoking had just finished scattering poison spikes when he was hit and flew backwards. Quick Swim Frog continued to attack, use water waves. After a hit, Zhang Cheng continued to command Quick Swim Frog to attack, not giving Nidoking any chance to scatter poison spikes. If Nidoking scatters poison spikes again, the situation will be very unfavorable. Yobo Yobo the Quick Swim Frog also had a solemn expression. After receiving Zhang Cheng's command, it quickly controlled the water element energy to form a series of water ripples. The water wave skill was activated. With the blessing of rainy weather and the power of this system, plus the restraining effect of water attribute skills on Nidoking had no way to resist it. Don't worry about it, Nidoking. Use the poison spikes. Han Dian urged Nidoking to use the poison spike skill as soon as possible. As long as the second poison spike was sent out, Nidoking's defeat would not be a loss. Nidoking wanted to continue to use the poison spikes, but unfortunately he was unable to do so. He could still recover from the severe damage. In the end, Nidoking failed to use the poison spikes successfully. A large number of water ripples covered Nidoking and submerged him in them. After being washed by the power of the water element, Nidoking fainted on the spot and lost his ability to fight. Come back, Nidoking. Han Dian took back Nidoking with a somewhat ugly look on his face, and then quickly threw out the second Pokéball. Perform well for me, Venusaur. The second Pokémon Han Dian chose to send out was Venusaur, which could restrain Poliwag. Zhang Cheng turned on the detection system, and all the data of Venus Flytrap appeared in his mind. Name, Venus Flytrap. Level 61, Gender, Female Qualification, B Attributes, Poison, Grass items carried, pomelo fruit. After the Pokemon carries this item, it will restore a certain amount of health when eating it in battle. Basic skills, Vine Whip, Growth, Titan, Hypnotic Powder, Poison Powder, Paralysis Powder, Dissolving Liquid, Shoot Down, Sweet Fragrance, Gastric Juice, Leaf Knife, Poison Blow, Smash, Twist, Grass Mixer, Leaf Blade, Leaf Storm. Learning skills, Solar Beam, Hold, Sludge Bomb, Venom Shock. Highly toxic genetic skills, Photosynthesis, Seed Machine Gun, Clear Smoke. Characteristics, Glutton. Pokemon with this characteristic will eat tree fruits in advance if they carry them in battle. Note, Venus Flytrap, the fly-catching Pokemon, is the evolved form of Venus Flytrap. It will be finished if it is lured into its mouth by a scent that sounds like nectar, and will be melted by the dissolving liquid. Hauntion's Venusaur is good at skills of grass and poison attributes. Most of the grass-type elves are attack skills, while the poison-type is a transformation skill. The combination of the two attributes can complement each other and greatly improve the combat effectiveness of Venusaur. It is worth mentioning that the characteristic of this Venusaur is a relatively rare glutton. The effect of the glutton characteristic is that it can eat tree fruits in advance. To be honest, the effect of this characteristic is not very good, and eating tree fruits in advance does not play a big role. However, in order not to waste the characteristics of Venusaur, Hauntion also gave it a pomelo fruit that can restore its status. Venusaur, use a Flying Leaf Knife. After sending Venusaur, Hauntion chose to use the basic grass-type skill Flying Leaf Knife to make a tentative attack. Venusaur swung the large leaves on both sides of its body, and the grass-type energy turned into a large number of energy leaves, attacking the fast-swimming frog at a very fast speed. Fast-swimming frog, get out of the way. Zhang Cheng continued to take advantage of the speed of the fast-swimming frog and chose the simplest and crudest way to deal with it. Yobo, the fast-swimming frog, looked at the flying leaves with some disdain in its eyes. This speed skill could not hit it. The fast-swimming frog used its legs to jump into the air and easily dodged the flying leaves. Do you think I can't do anything to you like this? Looking at the fast-swimming frog who continued to use speed to dodge, Hauntion's face twitched and he quickly issued new warrior instructions to the Venus Flycatcher. Venus Flycatcher, use Gastric Juice. Under Hauntion's command, the Venus Flycatcher spit out more a ball of gastric juice with special corrosiveness from its mouth. Chapter 313 Expanding Advantage. Gastric juice was sprayed out by the Venus flower, shooting at the frog at a very fast speed. Gastric juice is a relatively rare skill, but Zhang Cheng still knows something about it. The elves hit by gastric juice will not be harmed, but their characteristics will be eliminated. Hauntion's intention is very clear, that is, he wants to eliminate the free-swimming characteristics of the frog and slow down the frog, so that the Venus flower can attack more easily. Otherwise, with the high speed of the frog, many skills of the Venus flower will be difficult to hit. Frog, use the defense. Zhang Cheng naturally couldn't let Hauntion succeed, and directly chose the safest way to use the defense barrier to isolate the gastric juice. Yobo, after receiving Zhang Cheng's order, the frog quickly condensed energy to form a transparent barrier, wrapping the entire body of the frog. After the barrier was formed, the gastric juice of the Venus flower fell on it, but there was no harsh sound caused by a large amount of corrosion as imagined. The gastric juice penetrated the barrier easily, as if the barrier did not exist, and penetrated the defense of the barrier and sprinkled on the body of the fast-swimming frog. Affected by the gastric juice, the free-swimming characteristic of the fast-swimming frog lost its effect, and its speed dropped to its original level. You didn't expect it. The gastric juice of the Venus flytrap is not an ordinary venom, and the defensive skill can't resist it, Hauntion said sarcastically. It is obvious that Hauntion often uses this trick, and it is indeed hard to guard against. Fast-swimming frog, use the explosive fist. Zhang Cheng ignored Hauntion's sarcasm and commanded the fast-swimming frog to continue attacking. The fighting and water skills that the fast-swimming frog is good at are not very effective for the Venus flytrap with both grass and poison attributes. In the end, Zhang Cheng chose to let the fast-swimming frog use the fighting-type explosive fist. Because the explosive fist has an additional effect of 100% chaos, as long as it hits the Venus flytrap, it can be thrown into a state of chaos. Yobo, frog shouted angrily, the muscles on his arms burst, and powerful fighting energy filled it, and he punched Venusaur fiercely. "How dare you be so arrogant in the face of attribute restrained?" Hongyan commanded in a cold voice. "Venusaur, use Leaf Storm directly." Seeing that Frog still dared to attack actively, Hongyan directly let Venusaur use the Grass-type ultimate move Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm can cause very powerful lethality, but the disadvantage is that the special attack will be greatly reduced after using the skill, which is unacceptable for Pokémon that rely on special attacks, so most trainers choose to use Leaf Storm at the last critical moment. Of course, Venusaur doesn't have so many concerns at this time, because Venusaur's physical attack and special attack are not bad, and the skills it is good at are also physical attack and special attack types. After using Leaf Storm, Venusaur only needs to continue to use animal attack skills, and it will not be affected by the sequelae of Leaf Storm. After receiving the instructions from the trainer, Venusaur gathered all the grass attribute energy around it to form a large Leaf Storm. After the Leaf Storm was formed, it flew towards the frog that launched a burst fist attack. Countless leaves wrapped the frog layer by layer, and then burst out energy to attack. After the frog was hit by the Leaf Storm, the condensed power was dispersed, and the offensive was resolved while it also suffered considerable damage. Vulpine, attack hard, use Leaf Blade. After severely injuring the frog, Hongyan commanded the frog to attack again. At this time, the frog had been affected by the Leaf Storm, and its special attack was greatly reduced. Hongyan was also very smart and chose to let the frog use the high-damage grass-type physical attack skill Leaf Blade. 2 leaf blades formed out of thin air, carrying a high degree of offensiveness under the control of the frog, and flew rapidly towards the frog. "Don't be afraid, frog, use Reckless Force now." After the burst fist was resolved by the opponent, Zhang Cheng immediately changed his tactics and let the frog use the Reckless skill. Yobo Yobo, the fast-swimming frog, absorbed the strange energy. Under the influence of this energy, the fast-swimming frog rushed towards the venomous flower without any rules. During the charge, the fast-swimming frog was fearless. Like a giant tank, it rushed forward and took the damage of the leaf blade, and then poured its strength on the body of the venomous flower. At this time, the fast-swimming frog was in a very bad state. The damage caused to the venomous flower by the reckless skill it launched was unimaginable. At this point in the battle, the venomous flower and the fast-swimming frog were both in a dying state and could be defeated at any time. Velvenom, use the Vine Whip. Hongyan issued an attack command again, asking the venomous flower to try to defeat the fast-swimming frog through a long-range Vine Whip attack. 2 emerald green Vine Whips stretched out from the body of the venomous flower. After the Vine Whips appeared, they were whipped towards the fast-swimming frog under the control of the venomous flower. Swimper, use Water Wave. Swimper's current state is very bad. Zhang Cheng dare not continue to use powerful melee skills to attack, because the melee attack will most likely be hit by the opponent's ranged attack first. So for the sake of safety, Zhang Cheng chose to let Swimper and Venus Flytrap use ranged skills to try to defeat the opponent. Yobo Yobo Swimper formed a series of water ripples with the absorbed water element energy, and then flew towards Venus Flytrap. The Vine Whip hit Swimper's back. Under the attack of the skill with restraining attribute, Swimper could not hold on and lost the ability to fight. Water Wave also hit Venus Flytrap soon after, but because Venus Flytrap resists water skills, it was not directly defeated and was still hanging on to its last breath. Come back and rest, Swimper. Swimper's performance was excellent. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokeball to take it back, and then sent out the second Pokemon. Pidgeot, it's you. Zhang Cheng chose Pidgeot for 2 reasons. One was that Pidgeot controlled Venusaur, and the other was because of the poison spikes. Before Nidoking lost his ability to fight, he spread a layer of poison spikes. If a Pokemon that could not fly was sent out, it would be poisoned. Venusaur, use the poison. Hongyan knew that Venusaur was unlikely to be effective at this time, so he planned to disgust Zhang Cheng and use the poison to try his luck. If he really succeeded in hiding Pidgeot, it would be a big profit. If he failed to hit and was defeated, it would not be a loss. Venusaur used up its last strength to control the poison attribute energy to turn it into poisonous venom. After the venom was formed, it sprayed out from Venusaur's mouth, aiming directly at Pidgeot in the air. Pidgeot, use Hold, and then launched Lightning Flash. Facing Venusaur's offensive, Zhang Cheng responded calmly. After hearing that it was related to the poison, he immediately ordered Pidgeot to defend. After dissolving the poison, he looked for an opportunity to counterattack. Chapter 314 Super Armored Rhino. Beep beep. After receiving the command, Pidgeot quickly condensed energy to form a transparent protective barrier. After the barrier was formed, it neutralized the highly toxic venom spit out by Venus Flower. After neutralizing the opponent's attack, Pidgeot burst out with all his strength to launch Lightning Flash, and his whole body crashed into Venus Flower at a very fast speed. Venus Flower was already in a very bad state at this time, so Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot use Lightning Flash to attack. Lightning Flash has a faster attack speed and can defeat Venus Flower earlier. Pidgeot's body hit Venus Flower's abdomen hard. After being attacked, Venus Flower fell to the ground but did not lose its combat ability. Venus Flower ate the pomelo fruit it carried with it, and its health value was restored to a certain extent, resisting Pidgeot's attack this time. Venus Flower, now is the time, use the poison again. Han Dian quickly commanded Venus Flower to counterattack. He was waiting for such an opportunity. After receiving the command, Venus Flower once again condensed poison attribute energy to form highly toxic venom. This time, the poisonous venom was not so easy to dodge. Because Pidgeot had just launched Lightning Flash, he was very close to Venus Flower. The poisonous venom attacked quickly, leaving Pidgeot too little time to react. Pidgeot's reaction speed was already very fast, but the distance was too close, and the poisonous venom finally hit Pidgeot successfully. Pidgeot, use the storm attack. Zhang Cheng ordered Pidgeot to use powerful flying skills to ensure that Venus Flower could be defeated directly this time to avoid more trouble. Beep. Beep. Pidgeot was very angry after being plotted against by Venus Flower. He gathered all his strength to form a powerful storm, which swept towards Venus Flower after it was formed. The storm condensed by Pidgeot this time covered a large area, and Venus Flower had no way to avoid it. It was swept into the air by the storm, and countless wind blades hit its body. After being attacked by the storm skill, Venus Flower's health was completely emptied, and it fell from mid-air to the ground and lost its combat ability. After defeating the Venus Flower, Pidgeot began to turn black and purple, a sign of the outbreak of the highly toxic toxin. Come back, Venus Flower. Han Dian took back the Venus Flower that had lost its ability to fight, and then sent out a new Pokémon to fight. Perform well for me, Super Armor Rhino. Han Dian's targeting intention was obvious. Each time the Pokémon rotated, it had the attributes to restrain the Pokémon sent by Zhang Cheng. The Super Armor Rhino with rock and ground attributes had a clear restraining effect on the Venus Flower. According to his habit of fighting, Zhang Cheng turned on the detection system again and checked the data of this rhino. Name, Super Rhino, level 61, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, rock, ground carried items, hard stone, a stone that will never crack. The power of the rock-based skills used by the Pokémon carrying this item will be enhanced. Basic skills: Horn Charge, Tail Shake, Random Attack, Ghost Face, Shoot Down, Trample, Stomp, Gradual Break, Rock Critical Hit, Direct Drill, Slam, Sharp Stone Attack, Earthquake, Super Horn Attack, Arm Hammer. Learning skills: Rock Collapse, Hold, Tile Splitting, Large Character Flame Blast, Dragon Tail. Inherited skills: Rocket Headbutt, Iron Tail, Thunder Fang. Characteristics: Hard Rock. A Pokémon with this characteristic can weaken the power of a move with an excellent effect when attacked. Notes: Super Rhino, a drill push Pokémon, is the evolved form of Iron Blaster. It can concentrate its strength on its muscles, causing them to swell in an instant, and use this method to launch stones at the enemy. The Super Armored Rhino sent out by Han Dian was very powerful and had mastered attack skills of various attributes. Super Armored Rhino, use Rock Slide. After sending out Super Armored Rhino, Han Dian quickly commanded Super Armored Rhino to attack with Rock-type skills that could restrain Pidgeot. Super Armored Rhino was a battle maniac. After receiving the attack order from the trainer, he was very excited. He frantically condensed Rock-type energy to form a large number of rocks in the air, and then smashed them at Pidgeot. Pidgeot, quickly use Guard. Facing the Rock-type skills, Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot defend. It was not a wise choice to attack rashly at this time. Beep Beep. Pidgeot was also very clear about the power of rock skills. After seeing the rocks coming, he began to condense energy with a solemn expression. A large amount of energy formed a barrier to protect Pidgeot. As soon as the barrier was formed, a large amount of rocks fell down. The barrier was constantly shaking under the attack of the rocks. The barrier condensed by Pidgeot was still very defensive. The energy rocks formed by the Rock Slide skill failed to break the barrier, but only left some slight cracks on it. After resisting the Rockfall attack, The toxins in Pidgeot's body erupted again, constantly consuming Pidgeot's health. Come back and rest, Pidgeot. After resolving the attack of the super armored rhino, Zhang Cheng quickly took Pidgeot back. The flying and general skills that Pidgeot was good at had little effect on the super armored rhino, and there was not much benefit in continuing the battle. The super armored rhino in front of him was very troublesome, but Zhang Cheng was also glad that the opponent sent out the super armored rhino so early. If Han Bian and Zhang Cheng sent out the super armored rhino when all the water-type elves were defeated, it would be a headache for him. It's decided to be you, Swampert. Zhang Cheng chose to send out Swampert, who was good at water-type skills, to fight. The rock-type skills that super armored rhino was good at had little effect on Swampert. Swampert, use Raindrop. Zhang Cheng knew that super armored rhino skills were not effective against Swampert, so he directly let Swampert use weather skills. Gonna after receiving Zhang Cheng's order, Swampert concentrated on condensing a large amount of water element energy to form a dark cloud. After the dark cloud rose into the sky, it immediately began to rain heavily, and rainy weather formed. You're still here? You really don't take me seriously? Han Bian saw Zhang Cheng once again ignore his Pokémon and use the rain prior skill, and gritted his teeth and commanded the Super Armor Rhino to attack. Super Armor Rhino, use your specialty, the drilling skill. Although Han Bian was very angry, he did not lose his mind. Instead, after a reasonable analysis, he chose to let the Super Armor Rhino use a ground-based skill that would not attenuate the effect on Swampert to attack. The drilling skill is very useful for Pokémon with horns, and it can maximize the power of this skill. The Super Armor Rhino quickly gathered the ground-based energy on the sharp drill on its head. With a large amount of energy attached, the sharp drill on the head of the Super Armor Rhino also kept spinning. With the addition of a large amount of energy, a powerful attack power burst out from the sharp drill. The drill skill was activated, and the rhino controlled its huge body and rushed over with a drill on its head. Swampert had just used the Rainmaker skill and had no way to dodge, so he took the drill directly. Chapter 315, Instant Kill. After being hit by the straight drill, a wound appeared on Swampert's abdomen, and a lot of its health points were knocked down. Well done, Super Armor Rhino. Continue to attack, use Earthquake. After a successful attack, Han Bian was in a good mood and planned to let Super Armor Rhino teach Swampert a lesson and use a powerful Earthquake attack. Super Armor Rhino looked fierce, and stomped his legs on the ground, causing a strong earthquake. The earth was filled with powerful power and attacked Swampert. Looking at Han Bian, who was commanding Super Armor Rhino to attack again, Zhang Cheng showed disdain. This guy had lost his mind and started to act on impulse. Since you are here, don't leave, Zhang Cheng commanded in a cold voice. Swampert, use the most powerful water cannon. In fact, Zhang Cheng could have chosen to let Swampert attack directly, because water attribute skills have a fourfold restraint effect on Super Armor Rhino. However, the characteristic of this Super Armor Rhino is hard rock, and the damage of the restrained skill attack will be reduced, so that Swampert's attack will not achieve the effect of instant kill. Therefore, Zhang Cheng chose to let Swampert start the rainy weather first, and compensate for the impact of the characteristics of the rhino through the increase in the power of water attribute skills in rainy weather. Gonna Swampert was merciless to the rhino who dared to attack actively, and a powerful water cannon was sprayed from its mouth, aiming directly at the rhino. Since the rhino skills were launched from the ground, and Swampert's water cannon skills were sprayed from the air, because there was no collision between the two, each attacked the other's Pokémon. Rhino's earthquake attack was blessed with the power of the original system, and the damage was still considerable. Swampert's health value was also reduced a lot after being hit. The water cannon fired by Swampert instantly submerged the rhino, and the rich water element energy continued to hit the rhino. Swampert's water cannon has 4 times the control over Raiden. At the same time, it also has the power of its own system and the amplification of the item Mysterious Water Drop, plus the blessing of rainy weather. The damage caused by Raiden is extremely terrifying. Under the scouring of the terrifying water element energy, the full-blooded Raiden was killed instantly. After the water energy dissipated, Raiden had fainted on the ground. What? The power of this Swampert is so terrifying. Looking at the Raiden that was killed instantly, Han Bian suddenly calmed down as if he was splashed with a basin of cold water. The challenger in front of him is very strong, and he must use all his strength to show his best state, otherwise he will lose miserably. Come back, Raiden. Han Bian quickly took back Raiden, and after a while of thinking, he threw another Pokeball. It's decided to be you, Gyarados. The fourth Pokemon Huntyong chose to send was the water and flying Pokemon Gyarados. Gyarados is a very powerful Pokemon. Now it is raining in the battlefield, which is also suitable for Gyarados to perform. Seeing Huntyong send out Gyarados, Zhang Cheng's face darkened. It seemed that Huntyong was going to make things difficult for him. A Pokemon of Gyarados' strength should not appear in the Quasi-King level assessment. Now that Huntyong sent out Gyarados, it was clear that he wanted to teach him a lesson. I'm not that easy to deal with. Even if I send out a high-strength Pokemon, you won't be my opponent. Zhang Cheng was very confident in his own strength. Turning on the detection system, Zhang Cheng aimed his sight at Gyarados in midair, and a large amount of data appeared in his mind. Name, Gyarados, level 63, gender, male, qualification, 8 attributes, water, flying carrot item, mysterious water drop, a water drop-shaped gem. The power of water attribute skills used by the Pokemon will be increased after carrying it. Basic skills, leap, collision, crazy, bite, glare, make a big trouble, tornado, frozen fang, water tail, ghost face, dragon's fury, bite, water cannon, dragon dance, storm, pray for rain, destructive ray. Learning skills, jet flame, surf, frozen beam, 100,000 volts, hold, waterfall climbing, dragon tail. Inherited skills, none. Characteristics, overconfidence. A Pokemon with this characteristic will be full of confidence after defeating the opponent, and its attack power will be improved. Note, Gyarados, this Pokemon has a ferocious personality and must be guarded against. Its teeth are so hard that it can bite stones through, and it has scales as hard as steel. As Zhang Cheng expected, the level of the Gyarados sent by Huntyong has exceeded the assessment requirements and reached level 63. If his Pokemon had not been upgraded to this level, today's battle would have been very difficult. Gyarados is very powerful. Although it has no inherited skills, it can learn many types of skills and has a wide range of attacks. Gyarados, use the waterfall attack. Huntyong issued an order to launch an attack, ordering Gyarados to use a powerful water attribute skill to attack. The power of the water attribute skill to attack Swampert will be much lower, but with the rainy weather and the power of props and the power of the main system, the damage is still considerable. After receiving the instructions from the trainer, Gyarados roared, twisted his whole body wildly, and rushed towards Swampert on the ground with a powerful water attribute force. Swampert, we also use the waterfall attack. Swampert also has the amplification effect that Gyarados has. Facing the powerful offensive of Gyarados, Zhang Cheng directly let Swampert fight head-on. The three Pokémons of the starter Pokemon will not lose to Gyarados. Gana Swampert looked solemn. In his eyes, this was a contest between water-type elves, and he had to show his strongest strength in this battle. A large amount of water elemental energy gathered in front of Swampert. With the blessing of this power, Swampert launched a waterfall attack and attacked Gyarados that was rushing towards him. The two strong bodies collided with each other. The strength of both sides was very strong. For a while, no one had an advantage and they were deadlocked in place. However, Swampert was injured in the previous battle. As time went by, Gyarados still had a little advantage and suppressed Swampert and forced him to retreat again and again. Gana, Swampert roared, and a terrifying power erupted from his body again. This power was very strong and directly pressed Gyarados, who had originally had the advantage, back. With the blessing of this power, Swampert was slightly better, but it did not cause too much damage to Gyarados. Gyarados, use water cannon. Swampert, let's use water cannon too. Both sides continued to use the same water attribute skills in tacit understanding. Neither Pokemon would give in to the other, and today they had to fight to the death. Two powerful energies condensed and formed almost at the same time, and thick water columns surrounded them, and a large amount of water attribute energy spread out. Chapter 316, Belly Drum Snorlax. The two spreading water elemental forces collided, and a large amount of water splashed. Gyarados' attack power was stronger, and the condensed water column gradually had a tendency to suppress Swampert. Gana Swampert had triggered the torrent characteristic due to the injuries it had just suffered in the battle, and the water energy that burst out of its body was even stronger. The power of the water cannon skill that was originally suppressed was also increased, and it began to push back. A large amount of water elemental energy surged, breaking up the water cannon condensed by Gyarados, and the remaining power bombarded its body. Under the attack of the water cannon, Gyarados let out a painful dragon roar, and its entire body curled up. Swampert, use poison. Seeing Gyarados howling in pain, Zhang Cheng seized the opportunity and commanded Swampert to use poison. Gana Swampert had already reached the level of perfection in the use of poison, and it easily condensed a large amount of venom and sprinkled it on Gyarados. Gyarados' reaction speed was a little slow, and he was directly infected by the poison. After the poisonous toxin came into contact with Gyarados' skin, it began to penetrate into it continuously, and a large amount of poisonous energy turned into toxins and began to explode. Damn it, Gyarados, let's make a quick decision. Use surfing. Gyarados exhaled a lot of breath from his mouth, and after adjusting his state, he quickly controlled the water element power around him to attack Swampert. Swampert, let it know what real surfing skills are. Zhang Cheng continued to let Swampert imitate the same moves of the opponent to attack. Swampert can basically master the water attribute skills that Gyarados can master. Gana Swampert's fighting spirit became higher and higher. After receiving Zhang Cheng's instructions, he quickly condensed the power of water elements to form a large number of waves. With the blessing of the torrent characteristics, the power of the skills launched by Swampert is more powerful than that of Gyarados. Two almost identical waves swept in from different directions, and the power of water elements collided wildly. As expected, Swampert was still better. After the Riptide characteristic was triggered, Gyarados was already difficult to compete with Swampert. Now with the influence of the poison, its strength was no longer at its peak. The wave sent by Swampert repelled Gyarados' attack, and then continued to move forward, submerging Gyarados in it. Gyarados was hit again, and its health value dropped rapidly. The toxins in its body also exploded, and Gyarados' state was suddenly beaten down. What? How can this kid's Pokémon be so strong? Hongyun looked at the high-level Gyarados he sent out and did not gain an advantage in the hands of Swampert, and immediately felt a little incredible. Swampert, use the waterfall attack to defeat Gyarados. Zhang Cheng was too lazy to pay attention to the opponent, and directly hit Swampert to launch the final offensive and defeat the seriously injured Gyarados. Gana Swampert nodded to Zhang Cheng, then turned to face Gyarados, controlled the surrounding energy to surround his body, and then launched a powerful waterfall attack. Gyarados, used the strongest water tail attack. Facing Swampert's powerful attack, Hongyun still had no intention of defending, and directly ordered Gyarados to use his best water attribute skills to counterattack. Familiar water element energy began to appear on Gyarados' tail, and under the gathering of these energies, a powerful water tail was formed. After the water tail was formed, it was aimed at Swampert's body and whipped it away. At this time, Swampert was wrapped in powerful power all over his body. The attack of the water tail hindered his progress. The powerful tail whipped on Swampert's body, leaving glaring scars. Gana, Swampert's health value has reached a very dangerous level, but Swampert was not afraid of it. Facing the whipping dragon tail, Swampert gritted his teeth and forcibly broke through Gyarados' attack, pouring the water attribute energy that had been condensed for a long time on Gyarados' body. A large amount of water attribute energy bombarded it, and the influence of the highly toxic venom. Although Gyarados was very unwilling, he had no way to break the situation and could only let these energies defeat him. Gana after defeating Gyarados, Swampert also fainted on the competition field because of his serious injuries. Come back, Gyarados. Hongyun was not very satisfied with Gyarados' performance. After taking back Gyarados, he threw out the fifth Pokémon to fight. Well done, Swampert. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokéball and took it back. Almost at the same time as Hongyun, he threw out a new Pokéball to fight. It's decided to be you, Snorlax. Get ready to fight, Pidgeot. Hongyun chose to send out Snorlax. The attack and defense of Pokémon like Snorlax are very terrible and very difficult to deal with. As for Zhang Cheng, he chose to send out Pidgeot, who had fought before, and could choose to send out new Pokémon to fight. Beep. After a period of rest, Pidgeot's mental state was much better. Although he did not recover to his best condition, he still had good combat effectiveness. To deal with a very bulky Pokémon like Snorlax, sending out Pidgeot might be effective. According to his usual fighting habits, Zhang Cheng turned on the detection system and began to check Snorlax's specific data. Name, Snorlax, level 62, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, general carried items, life orb. After the Pokémon carries this item, Each attack will consume a certain amount of health points, and the power of the skills used will be increased. Basic skills: impact, roundness, instant amnesia, licking, gradual breaking, yawning, pressure from the top, sleeping, snoring, talking in sleep, ultimate impact, rolling, blocking the way, drumming belly, crushing, heavy impact, 100,000 horsepower. Learning skills: hold, flame jet, ice beam, surfing, 100,000 volts, tile splitting. Inherited skills: double repay, mind hammer, self-destruction. Characteristics: immunity. Possessing this characteristic, the Pokémon will not fall into poison state because they have immunity in their bodies. Note: Snorlax, a sleepy Pokémon, will not stop until it eats 400 kilograms of food a day, and its habit is to eat and sleep, sleep and eat. Hondion Snorlax is a little lower in level than the Gyarados just now, but it is actually very strong. What Zhang Cheng paid the most attention to was the life orb carried by Snorlax. This thing, when used with the high-powered general skills launched by Snorlax, will greatly increase its power. At the same time, Snorlax has also learned many skills of various attributes, including the 100,000 volt skill that can restrain Pidgeot. Snorlax, use belly drum. While Zhang Cheng was still thinking about how to deal with Snorlax, Hondion directly ordered Snorlax to use the belly drum skill. Chapter 317, The Dragon King Goes to Battle. Zhang Cheng was a little surprised to hear the order given by Hondion, but he soon understood the other party's idea. Hondion's fighting style is more aggressive. The reason why he chose to let Snorlax use belly drum is to match the life orb and the power of this skill to make Snorlax a combat elf with extremely high defense and strong attack. In fact, if you think about it carefully, the belly drum skill is very compatible with Snorlax. The side effects of launching the belly drum skill are very strong, which will consume a lot of the life value of the elf. However, the difference between Snorlax and other elves is the sleeping skill. Most elves can learn this skill, but it is difficult to find an opportunity to use it, because once they fall into a sleeping state, they will fall into a passive state where they cannot fight back. Snorlax will not be troubled by this situation. Snorlax also has attack skills that can be used in the sleeping state, and it can attack normally even if it falls into a sleeping state. After receiving the instructions from the trainer, Snorlax quickly bulged his abdomen, consuming life value while maximizing the attack power. Pidgeot, use Storm. The stage after using belly drum is the most vulnerable time for the elves. Zhang Cheng intends to use this opportunity to injure Snorlax and defeat it. Beep Beep Pidgeot flapped his wings skillfully, forming a powerful storm, attacking Snorlax who had just used belly drum. Snorlax was very slow, and was in a weak state after using belly drum. He did not have much strength to resist, and was directly hit by the storm skill. Fortunately, Snorlax has a strong defense. Even though it has lost half of its health, it was only slightly injured by the storm skill. Snorlax, use sleep. After Snorlax recovered, Hondion immediately ordered Snorlax to use the sleep skill to restore its health, so as to avoid any unexpected situation if it was delayed for too long. Snorlax condensed a special psychic energy around its body. Under the influence of this energy, Snorlax fell asleep and began to restore its own health. Facing Hondion's style of play, Zhang Cheng couldn't think of a way to break the situation in a short time. When Snorlax wakes up, the powerful attack power plus the power of its own skills and the life orb are very scary. The most critical point is that Snorlax's characteristic is immunity. With this characteristic, the poisonous tactics will not work at all. Pidgeot, use Brave Bird attack. After thinking about it, Zhang Cheng no longer hesitated and decisively let Pidgeot use his strongest trick to attack. Beep Beep Pidgeot continued to absorb the flying energy, and the absorbed energy wrapped around his body, and then the whole body attacked Snorlax. Do you think my Snorlax won't fight back? Hondion looked at Pidgeot who launched a fierce attack, and immediately commanded in a cold voice, Snorlax, use Sleep Talk. The effect of the Sleep Talk skill is that it can let the elves randomly use one of the skills they have mastered in the sleeping state. Snorlax was affected by Sleep Talk and unconsciously condensed a large amount of powerful electric current. This time, the skill that Snorlax used through his Sleep Talk was 100,000 volts, which had a strong restraining effect on Pidgeot. After the strong electric current was formed, it quickly swept towards Pidgeot. Pidgeot, who had just used Brave Bird's fierce attack, had already suffered damage from the reaction force, and now was hit by 100,000 volts. Although this 100,000 volts was not a skill of his own, It was also blessed by the life orb, and its power should not be underestimated. Pidgeot was directly hit hard. Fortunately, the 100,000 volt skill that Snorlax used through his sleep talk was not a physical attack skill, and there was no blessing from the belly drum. The current situation made Zhang Cheng feel very uncomfortable. The skills launched by Pidgeot were difficult to deal with Snorlax, and the poisonous tactics did not work. Pidgeot, use another Brave Bird's fierce attack. After not being able to think of a way to break the situation through Pidgeot, Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot launch an attack again, trying to cause more damage to Snorlax. Beep Beep Pidgeot understood what the trainer meant, and quickly gathered all the flying energy in his body. With a blessing of this rich flying energy, Pidgeot quickly attacked Snorlax. Snorlax, use Snorlax. Looking at the constantly attacking Pidgeot, Han Dian felt a little irritated. He wanted to get rid of this guy as soon as possible. After receiving the trainer's instructions, Snorlax, who was sleeping soundly, quickly gathered energy to form a harsh sound. A large number of harsh snoring sounds filled the air, and then quickly attacked Pidgeot. Pidgeot, who was rushing towards Snorlax, heard this harsh snoring sound, and the condensed energy was dispersed. Pidgeot's condition was already very bad. After being blocked by the snoring skill, he had no ability to resist and directly lost his ability to fight. Thank you for your hard work, Pidgeot. Come back and rest. Zhang Cheng took out the Pokeball and took back Pidgeot. At this stage of the battle, Zhang Cheng still had 3 Pokemon that had not been sent out, and Han Dian had already sent out the 5th Pokemon. Zhang Cheng still had a great advantage now. As long as he could find a way to deal with Snorlax next, it would be much easier to fight. It's you, Thorn Dragon. The 4th Pokemon sent by Zhang Cheng was Thorn Dragon. This guy even has such a rare Pokemon? Han Dian was surprised to see the Thorn Dragon sent by Zhang Cheng. After the collision with Pidgeot just now, Snorlax completely woke up. Good job, Snorlax uses Tarzan. Seeing that Snorlax woke up so quickly, Han Dian was overjoyed and began to command Snorlax to use physical attack skills to severely damage the opponent's Pokemon. Snorlax just woke up and was full of energy. He used his huge body to launch Tarzan and smashed it hard against Thorn Dragon. Snorlax's Tarzan is a physical attack skill. With a physical attack amplified by the belly drum, the life orb and the multiple blessings of this skill, no Pokemon dared to collide with it head-on. Do you really think that I can't do anything to you when your Snorlax is like this? Zhang Cheng looked at Han Dian, who was smug, and commanded with a joking face, Dragon King, aim at Snorlax's body and use Smoke of Clearance. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, Dragon King condensed a ball of poison attribute energy into smoke, and after the smoke was formed, it floated directly to the position where Snorlax was smashing. Smoke of Clearance is a poison attribute skill that has the function of clearing the amplification of the elves' own abilities and returning them to the starting point. As long as Smoke of Clearance can hit Snorlax, the amplification brought by Snorlax's belly bulge will disappear completely. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318 Defeat Snorlax. Haha. Snorlax itself is a Pokemon with strong defensive power. Although its attack power is not low, it is not so high that it is scary. However, with a blessing of the belly drum skill, it can become a Pokemon with strong attack power and strong defense. However, the disadvantage of doing so is also obvious. The increase brought by external force can also be affected by other skills, just like the Smoke of Clearance launched by the Thorn Dragon King just now, which can perfectly restrain Snorlax's belly drum skill. What a nasty little devil. It actually ruined my good thing again. Han Dian looked at Snorlax's attack power being eliminated by the Smoke of Clearance, and murmured in his heart with some dissatisfaction. Snorlax King, use Dragon Dance. After resolving Snorlax's powerful Tation Pressure skill, Zhang Cheng began to command Thorn Dragon King to counterattack. Snorlax's biggest disadvantage is that it is bulky, and its biggest advantage is its high defense. The Dragon Dance used by Thorn Dragon King can just make up for Thorn Dragon King's needs in this regard. After the Dragon Dance skill is activated, the attack power and speed of the elves can be increased. After the speed is increased, it has a natural advantage against the bulky Snorlax. At the same time, The increased attack power can also effectively attack Snorlax, causing higher damage. Haha. If you want to have powerful power, you naturally need to pay the same price. The principle of equal exchange will never change. Kirby Snorlax was extremely angry when he knew that the power he had spent a lot of life points to get was cleared by the Thorn Dragon King. After hearing Hantion's order, his fists kept hammering his chest. A terrifying force erupted in Snorlax's body. With a blessing of this force, Snorlax launched the ultimate attack, and his huge body slammed into the Thorn Dragon King. Thorn Dragon King, don't be afraid, we will use the reverse scale. Snorlax's current attack power is not as increased as the belly drum, and Zhang Cheng is not afraid at all. After the Dragon Dance, the Thorn Dragon King's attack power is not inferior to Snorlax, and it directly launches the high-powered Dragon Skill Reverse Scale. The Thorn Dragon King condensed an extremely powerful dragon attribute energy, which was very manic and had amazing attack power. Under the control of the Thorn Dragon King, this energy was absorbed into the body and then turned into a deep yellow energy body and spread out. The power of the reverse scale quickly bombarded Snorlax's body. Snorlax was hit by the reverse scale skill, but he did not stop his attack. He ran into the Thorn Dragon King head-on despite the damage caused by the reverse scale skill. The Thorn Dragon King was knocked out by Snorlax and suffered serious injuries. The Thorn Dragon King's defense is not very strong. Compared with Snorlax, it is very weak. Snorlax itself is a general-type Pokémon, and the ultimate impact it uses is also blessed with the power of this type. With the additional blessing of the props, the power should not be underestimated. The Thorn Dragon King's reverse scale skill hit Snorlax, and it also knocked away a lot of Snorlax's health. At the same time, the life gem beads carried by Snorlax also caused a lot of damage to Snorlax. After Snorlax knocked the Thorn Dragon King out, he should have continued to launch an offensive. But because of the side effects of the skill, he was frozen in place and unable to move. Facing the immobile Snorlax, the Thorn Dragon King was naturally not polite and continued to launch a powerful reverse scale attack, pouring a large amount of dragon attribute energy onto Snorlax's body. Snorlax's defense was strong, but it could not withstand such a powerful dragon attribute skill and soon fell into a state of serious injury. The second reverse scale hit, Thorn Dragon King became even more manic, bursting out all the remaining dragon attribute energy in his body, forming an offensive that was even more amazing than the previous two times. Thorn Dragon King shouted, and sent out this last reverse-scaled energy, aiming directly at Thorn Dragon King who had just released the stiff state. Snorlax, use the sleep skill quickly. Seeing the flying dragon power, Handian planned to let Snorlax use the sleep skill again. As long as the sleep skill was activated, Snorlax's health value could be restored to its peak state. Snorlax had not reacted after releasing the stiffness. Hearing the trainer's instructions, he did not hesitate too much and closed his eyes to absorb energy and prepare to enter the sleep state. But it was too late to use the sleeping skill. Snorlax was very slow, and the energy of the reverse scales of the Thorn Dragon King had already hit Snorlax before it entered the sleeping state. The powerful dragon attribute energy continued to hit Snorlax, and Snorlax, with extremely high health, could not withstand such a bombardment and fell to the battlefield. Snorlax lost his ability to fight. Now Handian only had one Pokémon left, and Zhang Cheng was only one step away from the title of a Quasi-King level trainer. Chapter 319, Violent Flying Dragon. HMPH. Come back, Snorlax, Handian snorted coldly, took out the Pokéball and took Snorlax back. Do you think you have already won? Handian's face turned ugly. Recently, he has taught a lot of guys who came to challenge the title of Quasi-King trainer. I thought I could teach Zhang Cheng, this young boy, today and let him know that it is not so easy to step into the Quasi-King level. But who would have thought that Zhang Cheng's strength was so strong, and he didn't look like a trainer whose Pokemon had just reached level 60. Even the Gyarados he trained himself was defeated. The Pokemon used by examiners like them are all issued by the Alliance. The types and levels of Pokemon are well controlled, and basically all trainers with qualified strength can pass. But Handian was self-righteous at the beginning and thought he could easily defeat Zhang Cheng, but as the situation changed, he found something wrong, and finally had to send out the Gyarados he trained. As a result, Gyarados failed to suppress the opponent's Pokemon. After Gyarados was defeated, Handian sent out Snorlax, the strongest Pokémon in the assessment stipulated by the Alliance. According to the current situation, Zhang Cheng has actually passed the assessment of the title of Quasi-King Trainer, because the strongest Pokémon has been taken by Zhang Cheng. But Hondion didn't want Zhang Cheng to get what he wanted. After Snorlax was defeated, Hondion didn't even think about sending out the Pokémon given by the Alliance. It was simply impossible to rely on those ordinary Pokémon given by the Alliance to defeat Zhang Cheng. Hondion's face was ferocious, and after a psychological struggle, he took out a Pokéball from behind. "If you can defeat my last Pokémon today, I will consider you powerful," Hondion said while throwing the Pokéball in his hand. "Jared, show them some color." The last Pokémon sent by Hondion was a Dragon-type Quasi-God, which was completely beyond the scope of the assessment. The referee on the side saw the Jared sent by Hondion and was ready to call a halt to the game immediately, but he was afraid of Hondion's background, and finally the referee sighed helplessly. In fact, as early as when Hondion sent out Gyarados, he felt something was wrong, but he didn't say anything to stop it, because Gyarados' strength was still within the acceptable range, and he couldn't say much. But this Dragon-type Quasi-God is a bit too outrageous. If he continues to turn a blind eye, he may not be able to keep his job. If it were any other examiner, he would definitely stop it immediately, but he happened to meet Hondion. The family behind Hondion is very strong, and he is not an ordinary trainer like him who can afford to offend. A trainer who can have a Dragon-type Quasi-God must have a strong background. Even if an ordinary trainer is very strong, he will have to retreat when he meets such a guy with a Dragon-type Quasi-God. Seeing the Dragon Knight appearing in the air, Zhang Cheng looked a little strange. He turned his head and looked at the referee who looked embarrassed. He probably knew the situation. "Don't think that you can do whatever you want with a Dragon-type Quasi-God. Not everyone will be afraid of you," Zhang Cheng looked at Hondion and said coldly. "Oh? Really?" Hondion looked smug. "Everyone can talk, but you should show your strength. If you have the ability, defeat my Dragonite, then you just wait and see." Zhang Cheng took out the Pokéball and took back the Sea Dragon. "You want to be taught a lesson? Then you can't blame me. Dianzi, it's your turn." Zhang Cheng sent out Dianzi directly. He wanted to defeat Hondion's Dragonite with a crushing force and let him know the feeling of being slapped in the face. A red light shot out, and Dianzi's beautiful body appeared in the air, confronting Dragonite. When Hondion heard Zhang Cheng's harsh words, he was about to retort, but when he saw Dianzi appearing in the competition venue, he swallowed what he wanted to say. "These two are big guys. It seems that I have nothing to do with this." After seeing the fantasy beast sent out by Zhang Cheng, the referee spread his hands helplessly. Neither of these two is easy to mess with. "So what if it's a fantasy beast? I don't believe you're stronger than me." Hondion came back to his senses from the shock and said stubbornly. Zhang Cheng ignored Hondion because no matter how much he said, it would not be as real as seeing the result. As long as he defeated a Tyrannosaurus, Hondion would shut up. Zhang Cheng quickly turned on the detection system and began to check the specific data of Hondion's Storm Dragon. Name, Storm Dragon, level 64, gender, male, qualification, 8 attributes, dragon, flying, carried items, dragon fang, heart and sharp teeth. The power of dragon attribute skills used by the Pokémon will be enhanced after carrying it. Basic skills, rage, sparks, glare, bite, dragon breath, headbutt, gathering energy, bite, dragon claw, mind headbutt, ghost face, flame jet, flying, thunder fang, flame fang, dragon tail. Learning skills, big character explosion, swallow return, feather roost, shadow ball, rock blockade, water cannon. Inherited skills, make a big trouble, dragon wave, dragon dive, hold on. Characteristics, intimidate. Pokémon with this characteristic will intimidate the opponent and make it retreat when they appear, thereby reducing the opponent's attack power. Note, Storm Dragon, a dragon Pokémon, had a strong desire for wings before evolving. So the cells in its body suddenly mutated and formed huge wings. Hondion's Tyrannosaurus is equipped with the most suitable props, and it also has a very comprehensive set of skills. Zhang Cheng had expected this. Trainers who can reach this stage must have very luxurious configurations of Pokémon. Tyrannosaurus's characteristic is the more common intimidation characteristic, which can reduce the attack power of the opponent's Pokémon. Just as Zhang Cheng was checking this information, Tyrannosaurus roared to the sky and made a harsh dragon roar, trying to reduce Dianzi's attack power. However, These dragon roars did not have any effect on Diancie. Diancie has a body of eternal purity and will not be reduced by the characteristics and moves of the opponent's Pokémon. Tyrannosaurus's intimidation characteristic did not achieve any effect. Diancie's characteristics are more restrained against it, not only in characteristics, but also in attributes. The dragon skills and flying skills that Tyrannosaurus is good at are not effective against Diancie, while the rock and fairy skills that Diancie is good at are very effective against Tyrannosaurus. Han Dian felt very aggrieved. He originally thought that he could easily defeat Zhang Cheng with a quasi-god spirit like the violent dragon, but he never expected the current situation. Now he regretted it very much. But since the fight had already started, there was no reason for him to surrender. He couldn't do such a shameful thing. Even if he had to be tough today, he planned to be tough to the end and fight first, just in case he won by luck. Chapter 320 Crushing. Diancie, use the power of the moon. Zhang Cheng didn't want to waste time talking to this guy, so he directly ordered Diancie to attack. Diancie nodded to Zhang Cheng obediently, and then quickly condensed the fairy energy in her body to form an energy light ball, which contained rich moon power. After the moon power was formed, it was quickly shot at Tyrannosaurus under Diancie's control. Tyrannosaurus, use guard. Although Han Dian was tough, he was actually very loose in the fight. He didn't dare to let Tyrannosaurus bear the attack of fairy skills rashly, and chose to use guard to defend first. After Tyrannosaurus received Han Dian's order, it quickly condensed the energy around it to form a guard barrier, which firmly protected Tyrannosaurus. Before the transparent guard barrier could be formed, Diancie launched the moon power and hid it, and the rich fairy energy hid it. The power of Diancie was very strong, and although the guard barrier was strong, it could not withstand such a strong skill continuous attack. Finally, the barrier was shattered by the moon power condensed by Diancie. After the barrier was shattered, the remaining energy hit the body of Tyrannosaurus. After the barrier was weakened, Tyrannosaurus was attacked, but it was not seriously injured. Diancie used the power gem. After the attack hit, Zhang Cheng did not give the opponent any time to react, and quickly commanded Diancie to use the rock-type skills to restrain Tyrannosaurus. Diancie became very serious after entering the combat state. After receiving Zhang Cheng's instructions, she controlled the rock-type energy around her body to form a powerful gem. After the power gem was formed, it quickly shot at Tyrannosaurus in midair, trying to shoot it down. Tyrannosaurus, use flying. As an examiner with rich experience in combat, Han Dian had a quick reaction ability and made Tyrannosaurus make the most appropriate choice at the first time. If the flying skill is used well, it can avoid a lot of damage and play a role of surprise. With a roar, the Tyrannosaurus attached the flying energy around it to its wings, and its whole body turned into lightning and rushed into the sky quickly. As the Tyrannosaurus got higher and higher from the ground, the power gems fired from it also dissipated after consuming all their power. Don't panic, Diancie. Watch out for Tyrannosaurus' intentions, and quickly use Rock Blockade when you reach the attack range. Zhang Cheng was very good at dealing with flying skills, and he directly commanded Diancie to wait and see, quietly waiting for the opponent's arrival. After a period of accumulation, a large amount of flying energy appeared on Tyrannosaurus' wings, and it rushed towards Diancie. Diancie, now, Rock Blockade. Zhang Cheng reacted quickly. Seeing the energy attack from Tyrannosaurus, he quickly commanded Diancie to use the skill. Diancie had already controlled her power very early, and when Tyrannosaurus was ready to attack, she would explode the absorbed rock energy. Stones condensed by rock energy suddenly appeared on the path that Tyrannosaurus had to take. Tyrannosaurus collided head-on with these rocks, and a large amount of rocks fell, burying Tyrannosaurus in these stones. Diancie's flying skill was perfectly resolved by Tyrannosaurus. The battle had just begun for a short time, but the situation had already tilted in one side's favor. Tyrannosaurus, stand up quickly, you can do it. Han Dian saw that Tyrannosaurus was blocked by rocks and shouted. The blocked Tyrannosaurus seemed to feel the call of the trainer and quickly regained his spirit. Seeing that Tyrannosaurus was freed from restrictions and could continue to fight, Han Dian was very happy and prepared to counterattack immediately. Good job, Tyrannosaurus, use the most powerful water cannon for me. The Tyrannosaurus trained by Han Dian mastered a variety of skills, among which the most restrained one was the high-powered water cannon of the water system. Diancie, let's use Diamond Storm to counterattack. Facing the water cannon skill that Tyrannosaurus was about to launch, Zhang Cheng was not panicked. Since the opponent wanted to fight hard, he would definitely accompany him to the end and command Diancie to launch a powerful rock-type skill. Diancie's expression also became solemn. Facing this water cannon skill that restrained its own attributes, it was still a little stressed. Under Zhang Cheng's guidance, Diancie controlled the rock energy inside and outside her body at the same time. The energy was formed very quickly, and finally it was launched through the gem on Diancie's head. A large amount of diamond energy appeared to form a diamond storm and attack the Tyrannosaurus that was launching the water cannon. Tyrannosaurus controlled the water element energy just now and formed a terrifying offensive. A sturdy water dragon appeared and opened its mouth to bite Diancie fiercely. The fierce water dragon and the flying diamond storm avoided each other tacitly, and then attacked the opponent's elves. After the water dragon came into contact with Diancie, it showed its fangs formed by energy and bit Diancie's skin fiercely. Diancie's skin was very hard, comparable to diamond. The water dragon's bite did not tear Diancie's skin, but it also caused considerable damage. On the other side, a large amount of diamond storm spread wildly, and the diamonds formed by the storms kept hitting Tyrannosaurus' body and wings. Tyrannosaurus didn't have a pure body like Diancie. After being hit by a large amount of rock energy, its wings and abdomen were seriously wounded. Diancie's diamond storm was enhanced by the power of the item rock incense and her own skills, and at the same time, it was very restrained in attributes. Tyrannosaurus was injured more than Diancie. Diancie used the sharp stone attack. After gaining the advantage, Zhang Cheng did not give the opponent any chance and tried to expand the advantage as soon as possible. A large amount of rock energy formed several sharp stones. Under Diancie's control, the sharp stones could exert their power to the extreme. After condensing into shape, they were shot at Tyrannosaurus as soon as possible. Tyrannosaurus used Fly to leave Diancie's attack range. Han Yuan planned to use this move again to resolve Zhang Cheng's offensive. But unfortunately, he was still a step late. Tyrannosaurus had just been severely injured. After receiving the trainer's instructions, he failed to counterattack immediately and was directly hit by the sharp stone with terrifying power. The sharp stone attack was very effective against the Tyrannosaurus. After hitting it, it not only caused severe damage to it, but also interrupted its attempt to fly. After being attacked by rock-type skills many times in a row, the body of the Tyrannosaurus was shaky and it was already a little bit unable to bear it. Use Magic Flash to win this battle, Diancie. Seeing that the Tyrannosaurus had little ability to resist, Zhang Cheng directly gave instructions, asking Diancie to use her fairy-type skills to defeat the Tyrannosaurus. Chapter 321 National Competition. It's not that easy to defeat me. Han Yuan's face was distorted, and he roared and commanded, Tyrannosaurus, use all your strength to defend. Han Yuan could not accept failure and had begun to lose his mind. After hearing Han Yuan's instructions, the severely injured Tyrannosaurus gritted his teeth and stood up, barely absorbing the surrounding power to form a barrier. While Tyrannosaurus was condensing the barrier, Diancie was also brewing a powerful offensive. Diancie absorbed a large amount of fairy energy, and then exploded this energy into a special magical light, which was very dazzling and shot directly at Tyrannosaurus. The barrier created by Tyrannosaurus in a seriously injured state was not so defensive. The power formed by the magic flash broke it after 2 hits. After breaking the barrier, the dazzling pink light shone on Tyrannosaurus' body, triggering the wound left before, and suddenly let out a roar. As the roar dissipated, Tyrannosaurus's huge body fell straight to the ground, without any movement and losing its combat ability. Do you have anything else to say now? Zhang Cheng looked at Han Yuan, who was in a daze not far away, and said sarcastically. Zhang Cheng's words did not make Han Yuan respond. His brain was a little confused and he could not accept this fact for a while. Looking at Han Yuan's appearance, Zhang Cheng shook his head disdainfully, took back the Pokémon and left the battle room. Zhang Cheng was too lazy to spend time on such boring things as mocking the other party. He just wanted to get the title of Quasi-King level trainer now, and didn't want to cause any trouble. After leaving the battle room, Zhang Cheng went to the staff to register his results. After confirming that there was no problem, the Alliance also registered Zhang Cheng's information. Now Zhang Cheng has officially become a Quasi-King level trainer recognized by the Alliance. Trainers who can reach this step are already very excellent. After registering all the information, Zhang Cheng took the injured Pokémon to the treatment room of the Challenge Tower. It is free to treat Pokémon here. Of course, the premise must be that the injuries are caused by the assessment. After all the Pokémon have recovered, Zhang Cheng expressed his gratitude to the staff and then left the challenge tower with the Pokémon. After leaving the challenge tower, Zhang Cheng returned to the Magic City University and continued his boring life of studying and training. The elves were growing every day and becoming stronger and stronger. Time passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye, another half a year had passed. During this half a year, Zhang Cheng's elves had also improved greatly and were almost reaching the level of the king. However, Zhang Cheng found that after the elves reached level 70, it would be difficult to get an upgrade, as if there was a barrier that prevented the elves from improving. This barrier was really the watershed between the quasi-king and king level. It is conceivable how difficult it is to become a king-level trainer, and many people are stuck here for their entire lives. Now Zhang Cheng's elves have also been restricted by these levels and have just reached level 70. Today, Zhang Cheng, as usual, completed a day's course and took the elves to train to improve their proficiency and skills. Have you heard? The annual national competition is about to start again, just as Zhang Cheng was doing boring training. The two trainers discussed things about the competition. It's going to start so soon? It seemed to be a little later in previous years. I feel that our school can get a good ranking this time, another trainer said. Let's think about how to get a place in the competition first. Well, you are right. Let's train quickly and improve our strength. Zhang Cheng was excited when he heard that there was a new competition. Every day at school was too boring. Compared to this, Zhang Cheng preferred to participate in competitions and fight with other Pokémon. The tension and excitement were not given by other games. Zhang Cheng knew about the national competition a long time ago. The rules of the national competition would change greatly every year, so he needed to understand them clearly before the competition. By checking the specific situation on his mobile phone, Zhang Cheng had a preliminary understanding of this national competition. There were a total of 16 schools participating in this national competition, including the 8 famous schools and relatively strong non-famous schools. Each school chose to send 10 players to compete, and then after layers of elimination, the champion was finally decided. With Zhang Cheng's current strength, he can definitely represent the school in the national competition. At the same time, he wanted to have another duel with Yiyan in the national competition. A few days later, the preliminaries of the national competition have begun, but Zhang Cheng himself does not need to participate in this preliminaries. With his strength, he has been directly recommended. After confirming that he has obtained a place, Zhang Cheng did not put his mind on it, and continued to train the Pokémon to prepare for the upcoming national competition. The time of the national competition has arrived as scheduled. The venue of this competition was chosen in a competition near Kyoto University. Zhang Cheng also came to Kyoto with other contestants under the leadership of the team leader and mentor. After arriving at the destination, the mentor first found a place to live and settled all the trainers. It must be said that the treatment of these trainers in the Magic City University is quite good. Whether they can achieve good results depends on it. After arriving in Kyoto, Zhang Cheng went directly to the street to stroll. Every time he arrived in a new city, he would first learn about the various conditions of the city. One day, Zhang Cheng had a general understanding of these. Tomorrow is the day to start the competition. First, a random draw will be conducted for screening. After finishing dinner, Zhang Cheng returned to his residence, let the elves eat and drink enough before taking them back, and then he turned off the lights and went to sleep to prepare for the competition. The next morning, under the urging of the alarm and the sunshine, Zhang Cheng got up and washed, and then went to the competition area under the guidance of the instructor, waiting for the referee to draw lots. This competition is a gathering of outstanding trainers from 16 schools, with a total of 160 contestants. In the first stage, there will be an elimination system, and the 160 participating trainers will be eliminated until only 10 are left, and then a double elimination will be held. The referees hired by the national competition are very strong, experienced, and efficient. In less than 10 minutes, the first round of the schedule has been announced. In the first few rounds of battles, he met trainers with weaker strength. In the end, as expected, he easily passed all the 5 levels and cut 6 generals and entered the top 40. Chapter 322, Fighting Chuqing again. After entering the top 40 in the national competition, the strongest trainers from each school will be left. Each subsequent game will be very challenging. Today is the game from the top 40 to the top 20. Zhang Cheng arrived at the competition venue at the specified time. The competition venue of the national competition is very large. Although Zhang Cheng has been here many times, he is still not familiar with it. He followed the instructions of the signboard and came to his corresponding competition area. At 9 o'clock in the morning, the referee confirmed that all the contestants had arrived and began to draw lots to confirm today's battle situation. The daily schedule of the national competition is arranged on the same day, which is also to ensure the fairness of the competition and not to allocate opponents in advance. The rule of the draw is that 2 referees draw 20 lots from a transparent box together, and allocate opponents according to the order of the draw, so as to achieve the best fairness, openness and transparency, and prohibit black box operations. The referee's actions are very fast. It took less than 5 minutes to confirm the schedule and then announce it on the big screen of the competition venue. After the schedule was released, Zhang Cheng was the first to check who his opponent was. The first thing Zhang Cheng saw was his opponent's name, Chu Qing from Jinling University. Zhang Cheng felt a little familiar with this name, but he couldn't remember where he had seen it. After thinking for a while without any result, Zhang Cheng simply stopped thinking about it. The game was scheduled for 3 p.m., and there was no need to stay in the venue now. Zhang Cheng went to have lunch first. After leaving the competition venue, Zhang Cheng found a restaurant nearby to eat casually, and then returned to the rest area of the venue to wait for the game to start. Time passed unknowingly, and soon it was 3 o'clock. Zhang Cheng came to the designated competition area under the guidance of the staff to compete. After arriving at the competition venue, Zhang Cheng also saw his opponent Chu Qing. After meeting, both of them showed surprise. "It's you," the two said in unison. After seeing Chu Qing, Zhang Cheng finally knew why he was so familiar with this name. "Last time in the Huangsha Mountains, I was lucky enough to let you run away. This time I'm going to teach you a lesson." Chu Qing changed from surprise to anger, staring at Zhang Cheng viciously. Chu Qing was the trainer who had fought for the evolution crystal in the Yellow Sand Mountains before. He had a strong family background. If it weren't for Bai Yuling's help, Zhang Cheng would have been in danger. "Are you so confident?" Zhang Cheng sneered disdainfully. "I don't know who was defeated last time and asked for help. Now you want to defeat me by yourself? Don't be arrogant, kid." Hearing Zhang Cheng's sarcasm, Chu Qing gritted his teeth in anger. "Please solve personal grudges privately. Now we are in a game. Both of you are ready. The game will start soon." The referee stopped the two people who were tit for tat. At the referee's prompt, the two stopped talking and silently took out the Pokeballs to speak with strength. In this game, both sides can send out 6 Pokemon. When all the Pokemon of one side lose their combat ability, the other side wins the game. The referee said a lot of game rules, and the two fell asleep. The game begins. After introducing the rules of the game, the referee blew the whistle and the game officially began. After hearing the whistle, the two also cheered up and threw the Pokemon in their hands at the same time. "Pidgeot, prepare for battle." Largetail, "It's you." Zhang Cheng and Chu Qing sent out their starting Pokemon at the same time. Zhang Cheng did not choose to send out Frog this time because he had fought with Chu Qing before and knew that his main Pokemon was Orchid. Water Pokemon would be at a disadvantage against Orchid, so he finally chose to send out Pidgeot. Chu Qing did not follow the conventional thinking and did not send out the main Pokemon Orchid, but chose Largetail. Largetail appeared in the battlefield, using its long tail as a support to stand on the ground, looking very cute. Zhang Cheng had learned about the situation of this Largetail before, but it had been several years, and the previous data was not of much reference value. So Zhang Cheng opened the detection system as usual, intending to master the data of Doily first. Name, Doily, level 66, gender, female, qualification, B attribute, general, carrying props, leisure incense. After carrying this prop, the magical aroma of the incense will confuse the opponent, making it difficult for the skills it sends to hit. Basic skills: grab, see through, turn round, flash of lightning, grab randomly, help, curl up, throw, sleep, surprise attack, instant amnesia, take over, take the lead, loud voice. Learning skills: poison, shadow clone, hold, secret language. Inherited skills: gathering key, resurrection, tricks. Features: sharp eyes. The elves with this feature will not have their own hit rate reduced. Notes: Doily, the evolution of the tail. The elongated cave made with the shape of the body will become a complex maze if you go deeper. After understanding the situation of Doily, Zhang Cheng showed a treacherous smile. He already knew Chu Qing's tactics. This big-tailed lizard didn't learn any attacking skills. It mainly focused on transformation skills, and then matched it with the most critical skill of Baton. At the same time, the props that the big-tailed lizard carried were also very particular, and the leisurely incense that could reduce the hit rate of the opponent's elves was chosen. Chu Qing wanted to use the various transformation skills of the big-tailed lizard to influence his elves, and then use the skills to strengthen his own attributes. When the big-tailed lizard's health value was relatively low, he would use the baton to replace the amplification ability with the main elves. This big-tailed lizard had no offensive power at all, and was completely used for tactics. After thinking of this, Zhang Cheng planned to play tricks on Chu Qing. Big-tailed lizard used the coiling skill. As expected by Zhang Cheng, Chu Qing asked the big-tailed lizard to use the coiling skill that could amplify its own multiple attributes. After receiving the instructions from the trainer, the big-tailed lizard quickly collected energy, and the whole body curled up to absorb this energy. After absorbing the energy, the big-tailed lizard's attack power, defense power and hit rate were improved at the same time. Pidgeot, use air slash. Because Dolly has mastered the poison skill, Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot use long-range skills to attack. If the distance is too close, he may be hit by the poison, and it will be in a poisonous state, which is not worth it. Beep beep. Pidgeot vibrated his wings, condensing a large amount of flying energy to form an invisible air blade. After the air blade was formed, it quickly slashed towards Dolly on the ground. Dolly had just finished curling up and had no time to use the defense, so he was directly hit by the air slash. Chapter 323 Playing. The defense of the big tail is not very strong, but it has been improved by the skill of curling up just now, so it is not so fragile. After being hit by Pidgeot's air slash, it suffered a lot of damage, but it was still within the acceptable range. Big Tail, use curling up again. Chu Qing continued to command Big Tail to use curling up. He wanted to stack as many attributes as possible, and then use the baton to replace the Pokémon. Big Tail obviously often uses this tactic, and is very clear about the trainer's ideas. After receiving the order, it quickly gathers strength and curls up to improve its own attributes. Pidgeot, use Storm Attack. Since the opponent's Big Tail is willing to be beaten, Zhang Cheng naturally won't fight if he doesn't want to, and directly commanded Pidgeot to use a more powerful flying skill to attack. Beep beep. Pidgeot controlled the flying energy around him to form a storm, and the storm condensed and formed and quickly swept out. However, the storm skill used by Pidgeot this time was disturbed by the leisurely incense, resulting in a slight deviation in position, and failed to hit Big Tail. Well done, Doily. Continue to use the coiling. Chu Qing was overjoyed when he saw that the leisurely incense was effective, and continued to execute the tactics to the end. Doily launched the coiling again, increasing his own strength, and ignored Pidgeot's thoughts. Pidgeot, use the Brave Bird attack. After careful consideration, Zhang Cheng decided to let Pidgeot launch the Brave Bird attack. The Brave Bird attack can cause higher damage to Doily, and at the same time, it is likely to trick Doily's poisonous skill, which can reduce the number of times it uses the coiling. Although Zhang Cheng is not afraid of this kind of external force-enhanced attribute, it is better to be careful. If it fails, it will not be fun. Beep. Beep. After the storm skill just now failed, Pidgeot became more cautious. He concentrated his strength to launch the Brave Bird attack. His whole body fell from a high altitude and quickly attacked Doily. Doily had just completed the third coiling, and his defense power had reached a considerable level at this time. After being attacked by Pidgeot's flying killer move, Doily's health value has exceeded half, and it is at a not very healthy level. You kid, just attack hard, you will cry later. Looking at Pidgeot who is constantly attacking, Chu Qing said viciously in his heart. Doily, cheer up and use poison. Seeing that the distance between Pidgeot and Doily was not very far after using Brave Bird fierce attack, Chu Qing immediately reacted and asked Doily to use the poison skill. If this poison can hit, plus these amplification effects, he can have an absolute advantage. However, Chu Qing was a little whimsical. How could Zhang Cheng not be on guard against this? When commanding Pidgeot to launch Brave Bird fierce attack, Zhang Cheng was already on guard at all times. Pidgeot, hold on. Zhang Cheng immediately issued an order to let Pidgeot defend. Pidgeot never had any doubts about the orders of his trainer. After receiving the order, he quickly condensed energy to form a barrier around his body. The poisonous venom fell on the barrier, corroding a large part of the barrier, and failed to hit Pidgeot. Big Tail, use the last curl. Now Big Tail's health is not very safe. After hesitating, Chu Qing decided to let Big Tail use the curl again. He wanted to give the main Pokémon more boost. Big Tail naturally didn't think as much as the trainer thought. After receiving the order, he started to use skills directly. Pidgeot, use the wing attack. Zhang Cheng didn't care about you so much. If you dare to continue curling, he dared to continue attacking and beat Big Tail until he lost his combat ability. Beep Pidgeot used his wings to absorb energy, and then quickly approached Big Tail, and hit Big Tail's body with wings carrying powerful destructive power. After 4 times of boost, Big Tail's attack power, defense power and skill hit rate have been greatly improved. At this time, after being attacked by Pidgeot, his health has reached a relatively dangerous level. Big Tail, use the baton. Chu Qing quickly asked Big Tail to use the baton after he successfully used the 4th girl. He was also worried that something went wrong. If Big Tail was defeated, all the previous efforts would be wasted. Doily was very skilled in the use of the baton skill. A special energy burst out from Doily's body, and then he was taken back into the Pokeball. Double Axe War Dragon, smash them for me. After taking back Doily, the rotating Pokemon immediately appeared in the battlefield and absorbed the energy left by Doily. After absorbing this energy, the attack power, defense power and hit rate of Double Axe War Dragon were greatly increased. At this time, the combat power of Double Axe War Dragon reached a terrifying level. Double Axe War Dragon is a powerful physical attacker with a physical attack ratio value of up to 147. After receiving 4 bonuses from Doily, its attack power has reached a terrifying level. At the same time, the increased defense attribute of the coiling skill also makes up for the problem of Double Axe War Dragon's fragile body. Ho-ha, what do you think? Didn't expect it. Chu Qing couldn't control his ecstasy after seeing the success of the baton, and laughed out loud. Zhang Cheng looked at Chu Qing at this time as if he was looking at a clown, and directly commanded Pidgeot to make a blow that made Chu Qing desperate. Pidgeot, activate the blow away skill. Zhang Cheng actually has many ways to deal with the baton of the Big Tail. Before the Big Tail starts to take over, he can let Pidgeot use the blow away skill in advance to force the Big Tail to rotate, so that the attributes that the Big Tail has worked hard to increase will be wasted. But Zhang Cheng did not do this, because he wanted to know who the opponent's main Pokemon was first, so as to make countermeasures later. Of course, Zhang Cheng's main purpose is to let Chu Qing see hope first, and then let him despair, so that he can feel the feeling of going from heaven to hell in an instant. The opponent's main Pokemon is a Double Axe War Dragon, which Zhang Cheng is not very surprised about. Trainers like this with family backgrounds will have some more powerful Pokemon in their hands. Beep, Pidgeot released the flying energy that had been condensed in his body for a long time, forming a terrifying gust of wind, blowing away the Double Axe War Dragon that had just appeared and had not yet gained a foothold. The Double Axe War Dragon was blown out of the battlefield and forcibly returned to the Pokeball. The Pokemon was forcibly taken back, which also meant that the power that had just been increased was all gone. What? Chu Qing was a little confused when he looked at the Pokeball of the Double Axe War Dragon in his hand. He couldn't accept it. The powerful force he had sacrificed the Big Tail to gain was actually dissolved just like that. Moreover, the trump card was exposed now. After the opponent knew the existence of the Double Axe War Dragon, he would definitely use Ice and Fairy Pokemon to target it. Chapter 324 Big Steel Snake. You change your face very quickly. Weren't you so proud just now? Zhang Cheng said playfully. You? Chu Qing was so angry that he didn't know what to say for a moment. Please send out a new Pokemon immediately, otherwise it will be considered as automatically giving up the game, the referee warned Chu Qing, who could still send out a new Pokemon. Hearing the referee's reminder, Chu Qing also restrained his emotions and threw out the Pokeball in his hand. Don't think that you have a certain victory just because you have some advantages. I can still win even if I have a clear card. It's decided to be you, Steelix. The Pokemon that Chu Qing chose to send out was Steelix, the evolution of Onix. Zhang Cheng still had some impression of Chu Qing's Pokemon. In the previous match, Chu Qing had a powerful Onix in his hand, and now it has evolved into the final form of Steelix. The detection system was quickly turned on, and Zhang Cheng began to understand the specific situation of this Big Steelix. Name, Big Steelix, level 68, gender, male, qualification, B+ attributes, steel, ground carrying props, metal film, a special metal film. The power of steel attribute skills used by the Pokemon will be enhanced after carrying it. Basic skills, bind, impact, playing in mud, hardening, curse, falling rocks, rock blockade, anger, invisible rock, rock polishing, gyro ball, shoot down, dragon breath, slam, screech, rock slide, quicksand hell, iron tail, digging, sharp stone attack, sacrifice charge, sandstorm learning skills, hold, big bang, cannon beam, rock blockade, dragon tail inherited skills, rock crit, white area defense, rolling, crazy characteristics, hard head. Pokémon with this characteristic will not be harmed when using skills with reaction force. Note, Big Steelix, the Iron Snake Pokémon, has a body forged by the huge pressure and geothermal heat underground, which is harder than any metal. Chukwing's Onix was well cultivated, mastering a large number of skills, with a wide range of attack and a complete range of skills. The only disadvantage is that the ground-based skills that Steelix is good at are ineffective against the flying-based Pidgeot. If you want to attack Pidgeot, you need to use rock-based skills. However, after Onix evolved into Steelix, it lost its rock attribute. The power of the rock-based skills it used would be greatly reduced without the power of its own system. Of course, after Onix evolved into Steelix, its attack power and defense power were greatly improved, which could make up for the impact of the loss of its own system power. Steelix used the sharp stone attack. Chukwing chose to let Steelix use the rock-based skills that restrain Pidgeot to attack. A large amount of rock-based energy gathered together and turned into a large number of sharp stones under the control of Steelix and shot at Pidgeot. Pidgeot used the hold skill to defend. Pidgeot is very afraid of rock-based skills. Facing Steelix's sharp stone attack with a high basic power, Zhang Cheng chose to let Pidgeot defend and try to keep his own state as good as possible. Pidgeot also knew the power of the sharp stone attack. After receiving Zhang Cheng's order, he quickly condensed energy to form a defensive barrier to protect himself. Soon after the transparent barrier was formed, a number of sharp stones condensed by rock energy attacked and hit it quickly. The barrier shook a little after being attacked by the sharp stones. But there was no sign of breaking. Without the power of this system, it was still difficult to break the barrier. Well done, come back, Pidgeot. After defending against the opponent's attack of Steelix, Zhang Cheng took Pidgeot back and chose to send other elves to fight. Because the flying skills that Pidgeot is good at have little effect on Steelix, and Steelix's physical defense is terrible, most of Pidgeot's attack methods are physical attack skills, which results in Pidgeot having no room for operation when facing Steelix. It's your turn to fight, Frog. Zhang Cheng sent the main elf Frog to fight. The water skills and fighting skills that Frog is good at have a very good effect on Steelix. Yobo, a red light shot out, and Frog appeared in the battlefield. After seeing Steelix, he began to rub his hands and his fighting spirit was very high. Frog used water cannon, because Steelix's physical defense was very high, even under the condition of attribute control. Zhang Cheng still chose to let Frog use special attack skills to attack to ensure that he could cause enough damage to Steelix. Yobo, Frog's muscles burst out, and a powerful water attribute energy turned into a water column and sprayed towards Steelix. Steelix used wide area defense. Chukwing did not dare to let Steelix take the water cannon head-on. He was still very clear about how powerful the special attack water attribute skills were to Steelix. Steelix condensed the rock energy around it to form a light yellow barrier, which blocked the large amount of water columns that were attacking. However, Frog's water cannon skill was blessed by the power of the original system, and the attack power was full. The barrier only played a role in reducing the power, and could not completely block it. After the powerful water cannon broke through the barrier, the remaining force hit Steelix's body. Under the attack of the water cannon, Steelix screamed in pain. Even after being weakened by the barrier, the damage of the water cannon was still considerable. Frog, take advantage of the victory and use the waterfall attack. After the attack was successful, Zhang Cheng continued to command Frog to attack. He planned to let Frog use the waterfall attack to approach Steelix first, close the distance after the skill hit, and then use powerful fighting skills to attack. Fighting skills also have a control effect on Steelix. In addition, Frog also carries a black belt that can enhance the power of fighting skills. If fighting skills are used, it can cause heavy damage to Steelix. Yobo Frog followed the trainer's instructions to surround the body with rich water element energy, then exerted force with both legs, and quickly crashed into Steelix with its strong body. Steel Snake used the dragon tail skill to knock it out. Seeing the fast-swimming Frog launching the waterfall attack, Chukwing chose to let Steel Snake use the dragon attribute skills he had learned. In the case that the original skills are not effective, it is a good choice to use dragon skills to counterattack. Under Chukwing's command, Steel Snake gathered the absorbed dragon energy on its tail, and then controlled the dragon tail to whip the fast-swimming frog, trying to knock the fast-swimming frog out, so as to resolve the opponent's attack. After the fast-swimming frog launched the waterfall climb, it had no idea of evasion and directly collided with the dragon tail of Steel Snake. The dragon tail is very powerful, but in comparison, the fast-swimming frog with a prop bonus is stronger. It directly resisted the whipping dragon tail, and then continued to attack the position of Steel Snake. Chapter 325 Geranium. After knocking away the dragon's tail, Frog continued to move forward, carrying a large amount of water element energy and slamming into Steelix's head. Being hit by a powerful water attribute skill, Steelix suffered a lot of damage, but fortunately, Onix's physical defense was relatively high, so it could still hold on. Frog, don't give it a chance to counterattack, use the explosive punch. After approaching Steelix with a waterfall skill and causing damage, Zhang Zhao quickly commanded Frog to use a powerful fighting skill. Yobo Yobo Frog shouted angrily, gathering the fighting power in his body on his fists, and then blasted at Steelix. Steelix was a little dizzy from the waterfall attack, and was hit by a new round of attacks before he could react. This explosive punch with a blessing of the black belt directly hit Onyx hard, and Onyx could not withstand this continuous attack even with its extremely high physical resistance. After being hit by the explosive punch, the powerful force directly knocked its huge body away, and at the same time, it was affected by the additional effects of the skill and entered a state of confusion. Launch the last blow, Hell Roll to take it away, Zhang Cheng directly sentenced Steelix to death. Yobo, a large amount of fighting energy spread on the body of Frog, and then quickly rushed towards Steelix, preparing to hug it and roll. Steelix, show your courage and use the big explosion. Chukwing saw that the situation was not good, but decisively chose to let Steelix launch a self-destruction, trying to die with Frog. However, because Steelix was in a state of confusion, his consciousness was not clear, and he did not hear the order issued by the trainer at all, and directly began to attack himself. While Steelix attacked itself, Frog's Hell Roll was also launched. In front of Steelix, Frog, whose size was much different, burst out with amazing power, and directly picked up Steelix, which was several times larger than it, and rolled. During the tumbling, a large amount of fighting energy continued to hit Steelix. Steelix was continuously subjected to powerful attacks. Even with its high defense, it was unable to withstand it and fell down in a daze. HMPH, come back, Steelix. Chukwing was very dissatisfied that the big explosion did not succeed. Now he had lost two elves that could fight. Geranium, it's time for you to show your skills. After a series of failures, Chukwing did not choose to send out the strongest fighting force, the double-axe war dragon, but chose the original main elf of the three major families, Geranium. Chukwing was still very confident in Geranium's strength. After all, this was also the main elf that accompanied him from the beginning. After Geranium appeared, Zhang Cheng immediately used the detection system to understand its specific situation. Name, Geranium, level 68, gender, female, qualification, A attribute, grass carried items, miracle seed. After the elf carries this item, the power of grass attribute skills will be improved. Basic skills, impact, call, leaf knife, poison powder, photosynthesis, magic leaf, nature's grace, sweet fragrance, reflection wall, light wall, mount pressure, mysterious guardian, aromatherapy, solar beam learning skills, hold, energy ball, dragon tail, shadow clone inherited skills, vine whip, parasitic seed, green grass field, grass flute, leaf storm characteristics. Lush, when the health value is lower than a certain level, the lush characteristic will be triggered, and the power of grass attribute skills will be improved. Note, Geranium, the vanilla Pokémon, is the final evolution of Chikorita. The fragrance of its petals has the effect of calming the desire to fight. Chukwing's Geranium is very powerful. The item it carries is the standard miracle seed for grass-type elves. This item, combined with a lush characteristic, can turn the tide of the battle at a critical moment. Geranium, use the energy ball. Chukwing directly asked Geranium to use the grass attribute skill to attack. Quick swim Frog, use the ball toss skill to throw Geranium out. Facing Chukwing's attack, Zhang Cheng did not give in and commanded the quick swim Frog to use his best fighting skills. After receiving the order, Geranium used the petals on its neck to absorb energy, and then turned into a green light ball to hit the quick swim frog. Yobo the quick swim frog also quickly gathered the fighting energy on its arms, and then quickly approached Geranium, preparing to launch the Batwas skill. Geranium's energy ball had just condensed into shape, and the quick swim frog had already come in front of it, grabbing Geranium with violent and powerful force in both hands. Seeing the quick swim frog's attack, Geranium hurriedly threw the energy ball and hit it on the body of the quick swim frog. The energy ball hit the belly of the fast-swimming frog, and then quickly exploded, forming a dense energy that continued to cause damage to the fast-swimming frog. The fast-swimming frog resisted this powerful attack, and then used both hands to throw Geranium out. The power of the fast-swimming frog was very strong, and the not small Geranium was directly thrown to the edge of the battlefield. I wonder how long you can hold on. Looking at the fast-swimming frog who was getting braver and braver, Chuqing continued to command Geranium to attack. Geranium, use your strongest leaf storm to attack. Chuqing's voice fell, and a large number of energy leaves had condensed around Geranium. These leaves kept rotating, forming a powerful leaf storm. Fast-swimming frog, use defend and then launch reckless. Zhang Cheng knew that it was difficult to defend the barrier to resist the leaf storm with a large amount of power bonus, so he planned to use defend to reduce the power of the leaf storm as much as possible. Then he lowered his own health through the opponent's attack, and then used the reckless skill to severely damage Geranium. Yobo, the fast-swimming frog stood in place and began to absorb energy to condense a barrier for defense. It's useless. Do you think that you can dissolve Geranium's strongest attack with just a barrier? Chuqing didn't know Zhang Cheng's tactics and thought he was struggling to death. Zhang Cheng ignored Chuqing and focused all his attention on the game. A powerful storm of flying leaves swept in, constantly hitting the transparent barrier. Under the attack of a large number of flying leaves, the barrier, as Zhang Cheng judged, could not withstand the fierce attack and was shattered by the grass energy. After breaking through the defense of the barrier, the remaining energy leaves all hit the body of the fast-swimming frog. After being attacked by these energy-flying leaves, the health value of the fast-swimming frog has reached a very low level. Now, the fast-swimming frog will do it. Yobo, as Zhang Cheng issued the order, the fast-swimming frog suddenly launched an attack, carrying a special force and hitting the body of Geranium. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.